Tuesday night.
Oh shit! The top 10.
Well, Jordan, you might have to turn down your audio just a little bit.
Was it good to go?
Yeah, but we can hear your TV a little bit.
Can't stay at the number 10.
Getting close. All right, I've already said, but I'll let the listeners and viewers know about our little back and forth of the rankings a little bit. But it's Tuesday night. That means it's ready for the Big Three podcast. Joined by my guys Jordan and Dylan. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Like Jordan was talking about, we're slowly watching this top.
I'm the number 9. Damn, they put the number 9.
Yeah. They only dropped once after a loss. But yeah, we're watching this college football playoff. Interesting week of football. My Seattle team lost, so it was kind of a setting loss in an upsetting fashion. But watching this World Cup, I got to watch snippets of the USA win today while at work. So yeah, it's been pretty good. I'm enjoying the sports and stuff this season. Definitely enjoying the World Cup for sure. You guys have definitely got me into a lot more soccer. So how you doing, Kyle? How you doing?
Good. Can't complain. Yeah, I've been thoroughly enjoying the World Cup, which we'll talk about as well a little bit in a little bit. But college football, great weekend. NFL, actually, I think all 3 of our teams lost this week, but it is what it is.
Sadly.
I didn't. Who the Patriots play?
Played Minnesota on Thanksgiving.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah.
With the Hunter Henry play, which we don't need to talk about that, but it is what it is.
It was a touchdown.
Yeah,
it was a
touchdown. Should have been a touchdown,
it was
but
a touchdown.
Whatever.
It was a touchdown. Des Bryant was slamming tables everywhere.
Yeah.
What's up, Coach Dante?
Yeah, what's up,
Dante? And then Michael Conman.
We're doing good, Dante. Hopefully you are as well. And yeah, Conman, what's up? Great show. I've seen a few of your episodes. A lot of good NBA stories and stuff like that. Can't wait to see what other stories you guys have on that show. But yeah, so while the rankings are coming out, we're going to wait for them to come out, and then we'll talk about them. Talk about MLB real quick. Well, actually, before we get into that, I got to let the viewers know about SeatGeek, and now you can use Sports Empire Network. Put the promo code in, SEN. Remember that at Sports Empire Network. You get 20% off of your purchase. So, you want to book tickets to any event, make sure you use Sports Empire Network and take advantage of that discount. So get that out of the way before we get started.
Ooh.
And so MLB, we talked about free agency the past couple of weeks. It's been kind of slow, still a little slow, but at least we did get somewhat of a rather big move. Jose Abreu decided to go to the Astros. We know that the Red Sox were interested, a couple other teams, but he chooses Houston. So what kind of impact do you guys think Abreu could have with the Astros? I'm sure Dante probably loves that move, being an Astros fan, but let's start with, Jordan, Dylan, whichever one.
Yeah, I think it was a good pickup for them. I'm not sure how old he's, like in his mid 30s, late 30s.
I think he's like 36. I think he's like older than people probably think.
So I'm kind of surprised they went with that because usually they look for younger.
Yeah, he's 35.
Okay, 35. Okay. Oh, well,
so yeah, it's a pretty good pickup. He brings that power bat, that veteran glove at first base. So yeah, even though I hate the Astros, it's a good pickup. Just because he still has that bat, and I don't think he was gonna win anything in Chicago. So he was top 5, 6. Ready, but another. Oh yeah, Bama's 6.
He's gonna be a good bat for them. Yeah, Bama's at 6, good, but he's gonna be a good bat for them. He hit a career low in home runs this last season, but he hit a really great just batting average season overall. So I'm not really. When someone hits less home runs and hits a better average, it's kind of you don't really know how to feel. But definitely it was I think it said it's his worst of his career when it comes to home runs. But he's going to be a good bat. The rich just keep getting richer. It didn't hurt them to get Jose Abreu at all by any means. So, yeah, I feel like it's going to be beneficial. He's going to benefit from the left field and at the Astro Stadium as well. So, yeah, I feel like it's just a good pickup for him. Rich keep getting richer, like I said.
Yeah, there's definitely a better lineup around him in Houston than there was in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I wonder if like Mancini kind of struggled in the playoffs, and he was supposed to be kind of their right hand power bat that they acquired at the trade deadline. So I wonder if that was kind of a reason to really push hard for Abreu. But I mean, like I said, I think it's a decent move. And like you said, Dylan, the Astros just keep getting better, which a lot of the American League teams, it's going to make them have to push to improve themselves once free agency really starts get going. Especially, Jordan's Yankees, because, you guys have been kind of chasing the Astros the past couple of years. So I don't know. Maybe this makes them up their offer to Judge to make sure he doesn't leave.
Where like when does the winter meeting start? Next week?
Yeah, they start next week. I'm not sure what day.
Is that so? That's when winter meetings is like when players can talk to their own teams or talk to
It's usually when the owners just get together and talk about whatever. But since the owners are all together, you could see trades pop up and get worked out.
Oh, so just the meetings for the owners and stuff, not the players.
That's kind of weird to think about. I've never actually thought about it that way. Just a bunch of just all 30 owners just getting in a room just talking about players. And he goes, "I would actually like that guy." And they're like, "Really? I wouldn't mind trading him." Yeah.
Sure, I'd love to be a reporter covering that.
Just imagine.
I think some of the big name agents are usually around that area as well.
Just imagine then all the rich owners making a joke betting players.
Yeah. I mean, I think the dominoes will fall once we see where Aaron Judge will land. Obviously, I want him to. Me as a Yankee fan, I want to see him in pinstripes.
Mm-hmm.
And I did go back. He did. I mean, I don't think he confirmed, but I know before the season started, he said he. I think a reporter asked him, "Hey, do you see yourself in Yankee or pinstripes after the season?" He was like, "Of course. This is where I want to be. I mean, it's ever since I got drafted here. So we'll see." But this is before he got the 62 home runs and whatever and all that. So, but yeah, I don't really see
him and Steph Curry are hanging out. So who knows? Who knows?
But I mean, I feel like that kind of move is kind of desperate. Because if they were confident, they would. I mean, obviously, people were. I know Dylan, you're the one that sent me that in the group chat of him with his suitcase in San Francisco. First of all, it was Thanksgiving. He's from California. He's visiting his family. Obviously, yeah, they had the meeting with San Francisco, the owners and stuff, and things went well. But if a team like the Giants are confident in a player like Judge caliber, they would not be pulling Curry or a big name star. Maybe I know it's a good move for them, but I just don't see. And
that's a normal thing.
But he hasn't signed with them yet. So I mean, I feel like they would have signed him if But then again, that can't be. That might not be the case. But I feel like whatever team offers him money, the Yankees will match that. Because obviously Hal Steinbrenner and Cashman said multiple times that they want to keep Aaron Judge long term. And I don't see. I mean, yes, if Judge does sign with Giants, it does make them maybe a playoff team. But come on, man, talking about 27 world titles to I don't know how many the Giants have. If he wants to play on a world champion team,
the Giants have won more recently than the Yankees, though.
Yeah, but who do they have on their roster other than who? I mean, Aaron Judge will have Rizzo. They signed Rizzo. They're getting the young players. Andy Volpe up. Oswaldo Cabrera. And then who knows who we can find after Aaron Judge. So,
that's the same group they had last year.
Okay. Hypothetically, if Aaron Judge was to go to another team, not saying whatever team, what would you want the Yankees to do if Aaron Judge did leave? Let's say it's just done deal. He goes somewhere else, and you guys have to build from there. What would you want the Yankees to do?
A good question. I mean, there's so many free agents out there. I mean, obviously we need, that's a big hole to fill in right field. I mean, basically he can play center field, right field. So I would like to sign a Benintendi. I know he was on the team. He didn't get that play because he got hurt. He can bring that power bat and that speed. And there's some other players. I mean, I would like a Verlander for a pitcher, but I don't know. I mean, that's just the worst case scenario. But yeah, I mean, maybe a Benintendi. I think Anthony said in the group chat, get rid of Hicks and get rid of Donaldson because they're old and Hicks is only used for defense. Really. So I mean, Dylan, that's a good question. I don't. That's a big hole to fill in that position on the right field. But I think Yankees are not really focused on that. I think they're focused on reeling him in and bringing him in. Obviously, that will start with getting him the captain, making him the captain like Derek. He was the only captain after Derek Jeter. Give him the keys, give him everything. But yeah, I mean, I don't know who's on the market for a right fielder like of that caliber. That can like fill.
I don't think anybody of that like caliber. Like the only like
and
right field
honest,
free agent like people I know is like maybe Jason Hayward, but he's not like that caliber.
This might be a hot take. I mean, even he goes to the Dodgers. I mean, they still need pieces around them. I mean, they got because Trey Turner, he's a free agent. He's on the market. I mean, did this have Turner? Is Justin Turner is he a free agent or he's on the team still? Like, I mean, so they have holes to fill too. I mean, other than Mookie Betts, he signed, but I mean, like, I don't think they're I mean, yes, they're a playoff contender with Aaron Judge on the team, but I mean, yeah, it makes them better too. But they need other pieces around him for the Dodgers. So I feel like New York is the best market. I mean, home run friendly field. The fans love them. And I mean, and if Cashman is religiously dedicated in signing Judge, he needs to throw him the kitchen sink. I'll give him 8 to 10 years, 300 something mil, 350 mil, 400 something mil.
Yeah, you better start getting bank trucks out.
I mean, if
the Giants went 8 years, 375, you'd want the Yankees to match that?
Hell yeah.
How about 8 years, 400?
Hell yeah. Give him 800 mil, yo. Like, yeah. No, all right, that's too high up there, but I mean,
okay.
I feel like
the whole salary cap.
Name
the team after him.
But yeah, I mean the Yankees will be very, very like bad on their part to let him go. Obviously, he wants to. He loves the pinstripes. He loves the team. He loves the team around him. And I feel like if he wanted to sign with Giants, he would have done already. I mean, but maybe he's waiting around for other teams to make offers. I know the Mets are up there, but they're trying to keep the Grom. So, I mean, they have problems over there. So, and plus, I think I saw the Yankees are interested in one of the Mets players. Something I forgot what his name is. I gotta look him up though. But I mean, I feel like other teams have other issues. Phil, other than Aaron Judge. I mean, they have just like the Yankees. They need pitching help. They need other players. So I think once Aaron Judge signs with somewhere like the Yankees or somewhere, the dominoes will fall.
Do the Giants have a lot of cap to make a move, even if they if they do sign Judge? Like, do they have enough cap to make a move after that?
Yeah, I don't know. The Giants are weird like that. It seems like they kind of spend big like every other year. So I don't know if they're going to clear out enough to really go at Judge this season. Because I think they re-signed. Did they re-sign like Chris Bryant, who they brought in I think last year?
Right. Yeah, I gotta look at that. Yeah.
They have what's his name? It's like Brandon Crawford or something.
Yeah, I don't really know. Does Aaron Judge want to be in a market where, or not market, but does he want to be in a conference where? I mean, we all seen the NL.
Jock Peterson.
Yeah. I mean,
makes the most money.
But do we want to see like Aaron Judge in a conference where? I mean, we all see the NL was tight. All the way through the second half of the season, like it was the Mets. The Giants were they even in the mix in the playoffs? That's my point. Like Aaron wants to play on a championship level, ready to win now team, and the Giants are it would make them better, a lot better. But just like any team, I mean, but he wants to, and also the other thing why I think he's gonna stay with the Yankees is because with him by making him captain, he wants to leave a legacy. there. So Jeter, he was the
Good
captain.
captain at San Francisco. They got the captain over him.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, he hasn't won in New York yet, so what
I mean,
legacy technically is he
like okay?
leaving?
I have a question for you. Do you think if Aaron Judge signed with the Giants, do you think they're a World Series winning team?
I've
Like,
seen the
next-
Giants win with
It
less.
depends if they make any moves afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's always
Giants-
still
the
trades to
Giants
be
won
made.
with like Pablo Sandoval and guys like that. I'm sure they can win with Aaron Judge.
I imagine if they trade for Aaron Judge, they'd be making like moves after that as well too. Because I don't think they'd like plug Aaron Judge in that roster and be like, good enough to win.
this reminds me of,
They'd
like,
probably have to. They'd have to make some moves.
Like this reminds me of like the Kawhi Leonard like playoff thing. Like everything was quiet. Prior to after they won the championship in Toronto, this kind of reminds me of that free agency time where like everything was quiet, and then some people thought he was gonna stay with Toronto. Oh, then he went to the Clippers. So I mean, it's kind of reminding me of that. Like other pieces were falling after that trade. So or that free agency sign. So it kind of
Aaron
reminds me
Judge
of that.
has to look at it. Aaron Judge has to look at it like he has to look at New York and be like, can I actually win here in like 8 years' time? Like, is there like going to be enough here? Is
Yeah.
like this team going to be able to do enough? Because I'm going to be about 30% of this payroll right now.
Right.
So what are they going to be able to do with the other 70?
That's
It
the-
just depends who's already getting money as well.
Yeah, that's the big question. I mean, I'm if we do sign Judge, I want to see what the Yankees do by filling holes. I know Hal Steinbrenner said he wants to, bring up the young players and see how they do in spring training and stuff, and sign whoever we sign after Aaron Judge. I want to see them re-sign Benintendi, like I said. I think Correa's still out there, even though he's a former Houston Astro. I mean, he's out there. So, I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna be very, very, very being close attention to who they sign if Aaron Judge stays with the Yankees. So we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, I mean, yes, it
I think
makes
we're-
sense
I
for
think-
us.
I think we're a pitcher or two. I think we're a pitcher or two away, and a few players away from like beating the Astros. Like we need just more depth. I know Chad Green was out. Matt King was out. Our relief pitcher. So we're a few pitchers away, maybe a starter pitcher away, and a relief pitchers away, and maybe a couple infielder and playmakers and hitters from the Astros.
That's a lot.
It is a lot, but Verlander's still out there. I mean, who else still out there? I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, my thing with the Yankees have always been the Yankees like signing power hitters.
Yeah.
They love power hitters. And yes, it works at Yankee Stadium because right field is really close. Left field's not that far for a righty to hit it out of. But when we've seen them lose in the playoffs, it's usually because they can't get guys on base. So you can't have your lineup full of, high strikeout, high home run hitters because you go up against pitching staffs that are really good.
Right.
Your offense is going to struggle. You'll score 1-2 runs a game. So they
Right.
need to mix in, on base guys like
Yeah, that's what I'm
Benintendi
saying. Like we
is
have,
one of
I think
those,
we have
but-
like Tim McClaster, I think, on this team. He's fast. We have him on, I think, on the roster still. He's because the Yankees, like you said, we've always been like that power bomb home run team. We haven't really had any like speedsters because like the way the Yankees operate is it like the Giambi, the Hideki Matsui's, the Ichiro. I mean, Ichiro was fast, but like we never really. I mean, we would have the same amount of players like on first, second base. But like we wouldn't have like a guy on first trying to steal second, and that was not what the Yankees were known for. They're known for hitting the ball at the park. But like you said, power bat. So like you said, like we should like mix a little bit of young talent, a little bit of utility players. So I'm just excited to see like if Aaron Judge re-signs with us, or who we get out on the market. Because like you said, I feel like trade will start happening after the Aaron Judge domino falls. So we'll see how teams, make their teams better. So it's gonna be really, really interesting after the meetings, the winter meetings and everything. So.
Okay.
But let me ask the panel here. Like, where do y'all think Aaron Judge goes? Like, when it's all said and done.
I mean, I feel a little less before I was feeling pretty confident he was going to sign with the Yankees, but like I mean I don't know, this free agency, like I feel a little less confident of it. You know, before I was probably like 80% he's probably going to stay with the Yankees and like 20% he's going to probably go to the Giants. But I don't know. It's kind of raised a little bit, but I would probably guess he'd still go back to the Yankees. But I don't know. A lot of players like to move nowadays, so it's tough.
Yeah.
I feel like if he would have my bad, one more thing. I felt like if he was going to re-sign, like he would have done it when they already gave him big offers. So the concept that he's not doing it is kind of like, what are you waiting for? It's like,
well, I think with that, I think like I mean obviously he's the home run leader. I mean he deserves to work this free agency. He deserves that because he wants to get his money's worth. So I mean he's going to hear from other teams, and then they might go back to the owner of the Yankees and say, hey, this team offered me this. Hey, I'm valued to the Yankees. Can you match this offer? If not, I'll part ways. And I wouldn't be mad at that because, like, yeah, I'll be mad in the moment if he leaves. But knowing that, he said his piece, the Yankees say their piece, and they don't work out, that's just a business move. But if he just leaves just to leave, then I'll be mad. Or if some curveball team like the Red Sox come into play, like I'll be like, damn, I'll be pissed. But I mean, at the end of the day,
he's really calling out your Red Sox like that.
Like the NBA, NHL, it's a business here. So
Yankee fans are just mad that they can't hold the world titles over us anymore because we've won like 4 since they've won their last one. So it is what it is. I'm okay with it.
But where we are this year, though, man?
We're the same place as you. We didn't win it all.
At the bottom of the standings, man.
Yeah, we didn't win it the same way y'all didn't win it.
With the Orioles.
Making the playoffs doesn't really matter if you don't go anywhere with it. If you don't win a chip, everyone's like, cool, you made the playoffs.
I feel like the way I think
we just didn't waste our fans' time.
They're just getting a top prospect now. They're just getting a top prospect now.
The way I've seen like the Yankees play in the season in the postseason is like the Yankees were too like aggressive early in the count. Like Aaron Judge would never swing early in counts like in the season. He would wait, 3-2 count, 2-2 count. I saw Judge swinging at low balls, which should have been balls, because that means he was putting the team on his back. In the season, he was just kind of like patient. I feel like he was more
I'm ready to get to San Francisco.
Oh man, y'all just love trolling me, man.
But it's also easier to have that approach in the season. There's 162 games. When you're in the playoffs, if you're down 1-0, yeah, some guys may start swinging at pitches they normally don't because you don't want to fall back 2-0, 3-0.
Yeah, there's a lot more stress, I imagine, because it's like, and in 162 games, like if you have a bad game, it's like, we got to play them 3 more times, and we play just a new team after that. In this case, it's like, man, if we don't win this game, like, that's it.
Yeah.
I feel like the Houston was a lot more like younger. I know they had like Pena, World Series MVP, so
conference MVP too.
Yeah, that too. So, I mean, even though I don't like the Astros, I mean they just had the better team, the power bet. So, yeah, that's the only time I'll say that on air. Houston Astros will pay better than the Yankees.
Yeah. Well, let me try something with you, Jordan, because I think your audio and your picture are off. So let me see if this fixes it.
Hello.
Kicked him out.
Can you see me?
Yeah, your audio's still off, but I mean,
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you
it's
just fine.
Just that your
it's just
picture is like behind your audio.
I mean, I could
speaking and it's not lining up.
Yeah.
I mean, I could come back.
Yeah, try that. We'll still be talking about MLB. Well, for you, Dylan, as a Blue Jays fan, I guess who's your biggest free agent that's currently with the Blue Jays?
Like who's our biggest player that's a free agent?
Yeah.
Hello.
Ooh, let me check. I know a lot of our players are like fairly young.
Right.
Like a lot of them are.
Or Toronto.
Yeah.
It looks like Springer. I'm just looking. This is Springer, Gosman, Chapman, Whit Merrifield. Yeah, So we have some, I think. Or no, that's the whoops, that's my bad. That's the payroll. I messed up. I
Okay.
don't know who our free agents are. Check in.
Y'all got Guerrero Jr. though too.
We do.
Well, I guess the other question would be, what would be your top free agent wish list for the Blue Jays? What do you think they need the most?
Well, like I mentioned before, we need a lot of pitching. That was kind of our biggest like heel into the playoffs. Is like with our bats got going, we would just let teams get right back into it. Like our pitching just wasn't great. We couldn't close out games, especially in that Seattle series. We would just let them get back just like that in an inning or so. Looking at our biggest free agents, I guess we have Bradley Jr., who's a free agent. We have Ramel Tapia, and then like Stripling, who's a starting pitcher. So not really much. If I had to say the biggest free agents I'd want, seeing who's in the pitching end, because I don't want to say someone like Verlander, because that's just probably not in the Blue Jays wheelhouse.
Right. I know Rodon is a pitcher that a lot of people are looking at, but he might be high priced as well.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how much cap that we have. I mentioned before in the chat that I would like someone like Cody Bellinger to come. I think that would be a cool signing to get. I've seen a lot of people talk about I'm trying to think, he's Jameson Taillon. I've heard a lot of people say like they would like him to go to the Blue Jays as well. Yeah, just anything pitching. I'm still learning a lot about the MLB, so I don't know 100% on free agents, but pitching from definitely what I saw. And then you mentioned getting another like left-handed bat, I think you said, would be a lot smarter for them as well too. So that's why I mentioned like Bellinger, or you mentioned Benintendi as well too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean Benintendi's bouncing around the AL East right now. He started with the Red Sox, been to the Yankees. I mean, what's a stop in Toronto? I know for me, I'm hoping Bogarts resigns. He's only 30 years old. He's kind of the heart and soul of the team. I want to see pitching, especially starting pitching, because right now, Chris Sale has been injured the past couple of years. So I think we need top of the rotation guys. That way you can probably slide Sale down to like the 2, maybe 3. I think between Eovaldi and Waka, they need to re-sign one of them because Waka had a really good year last year, but I think he might get priced out of Boston because he is younger than Eovaldi. So I'm expecting teams to throw big money at him after the season he had last year. But they can re-sign Eovaldi. At least Eovaldi's a guy you can put at the top of rotation. He'll pitch like around 200 innings, at least 8 innings for you. In terms of bats, probably like an outfield power bat, because JD Martinez is a free agent. I'm expecting him to move on because his home run production took a dip last season. And I'm kind of worried about that being a trend with him. And yeah, that's kind of all I really have with the Red Sox. I really want to see pitching be their first priority, then Bogarts. Perfect world, they'd re-sign Bogarts and Devers because Devers, I think, will be up next season. And I think if they wait too long on him, he might turn into another Judge where that price is going to be crazy high. And I don't know if the Red Sox are willing to do like 8 years, $400 million on a guy. But yeah, that's kind of where I am at with the Red Sox.
One person I would like for the Blue Jays that I remembered is like Kenley Jansen.
Okay.
He would be good. He wouldn't ask for a lot. What, he's like 34, 35.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I could get him on like a rough 2-year deal. He'd be a good relief pitcher for us too. I'm pretty sure he had I think he had his career high in an ERA this year.
Yeah, I think he had a bounce back year this past year. Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of like a high tier player, but like that'd be interesting.
Okay. All right, Jordan, you got, I guess, any last thoughts on your Yankees before we move on?
Just I'm excited to see what we do. I mean, like I said, I mean, after Aaron Judge signs, wherever he signs, dominoes will fall. We'll see players can jump off the board, but as a diehard true Yankee fan, I would love to see Aaron Judge back in pinstripes for another 8 plus 10 years. I mean, not 8 plus 10. I mean, another 8 to 10 years. So
You have him for 18. You pick him for 18.
Well, didn't Tatis get like 4? Or didn't like Tatis or like Trout get like 14 years or something like that?
I believe.
Well, I mean, they were younger. I was about to say, does the fact that Aaron Judge is like what 31 or something?
He's like he's
Well, he'll be
I
31,
think he's 30, but almost 30.
Yeah.
He'll be
Does that
30, he'll be
that
31.
factor in how many years you'd want the Yankees to sign him?
I would say
I
8.
say 8 to I say 8 to minimum, 10 to max.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting him till he's 40. I mean, like if he's 38, why not keep
look
him
at
till
Albert
40?
Pujols.
How
Like,
much
how was,
longer
like,
is he going to
45?
play after 38?
Yeah, I mean, he'll just turn into a DH. You know,
Exactly.
Right,
And if he
look at
decides
Albert
to retire
Pujols.
at 38, oh well, like you still had him for those 2 extra years if he changed his mind. Like at that point, he'd be a fan favorite. He'd be there for 8 more years. He's already a fan favorite. Like, might as well keep him. You don't want to see him go to like the Red Sox in his age 37 season because it'd just be like that'd be
Yeah, I can't.
ugly to
If
see
he goes
at
to,
that
like,
point.
Kyle was probably gonna be sending me memes all year, all season long. Like,
No,
oh man,
we're in our 20s, we're late 20s and 30s.
I'd wait. I'd wait until they at least won the first ring. Because if he went to the Red Sox and he flames out in the playoffs, I'll just be like, hey, David Ortiz could do it. What's your issue? But I do think with the whole universal DH, Aaron Judge, that's why he's kind of in play with National League teams, because they could do the same thing where later into his contract, he'll just be a DH in the National League. So that may work against the Yankees, because before, guys like Judge would always stay in the American League because of the DH. But now, since it's universal, it opens up the market.
Before it used to be just like the AL having like the DH and AL having like the pitcher hit,
yeah,
right?
the AL had the DH and pitchers were hitting.
So
in the National
would that take
League.
away like Shohei Ohtani's ability to hit, or he's be
Not if they
DH?
want to use him.
Yeah, it's just the same thing with Shohei. Is, he pitches every 5th day, then they DH him probably 3 days within his rest period before he pitches again.
Does that mean ever get any off like rest days? Like,
Oh yeah, he does.
He's a pitcher, and if he's only hitting randomly one day, he's hitting. He's playing 2 out of 5 games, 2 out of 4 games. He's chilling.
Yeah. And they'll skip starts with him too to make sure to keep his inning somewhat lowered and make him hit a few more days.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to see this free agency. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be a wild one.
Yeah, because there's a lot of. We talked about it on here before, like all the shortstops that are available, Judges available. You got pretty good pitchers available. So
just when that first dominoes falls, when that first
Yankees
player
are trying to
gets
get
the massive contract.
I think the Yankees are trying to get that Japanese pitcher. He's nice, man.
Red Sox trying to get him too.
Yeah, really?
Yep. Yeah, Senga. Yeah.
I don't know.
The Cubs want him too.
No, yeah.
But the Cubs, those are like the 3 teams that are always in on Japanese players because, one, when Ichiro played with the Yankees became popular with Japanese players. Matsuzaka went to the Red Sox, so the Red Sox are popular in Japan. And then the Cubs signed
Tanaka. I mean, had Tanaka.
Yeah.
That's what the Yankees do.
Yeah, that was Tanaka for the Yankees. And then the Cubs had Darvish. And then that made the Cubs popular with Japanese guys as well. And I mean, Seattle kind of with Ichiro. Shohei also with the Angels has made them kind of popular with Japanese players as well. So we'll have to see where Senga goes. I don't know much about him, but a lot of people are interested in him.
Yeah.
All right, I think we go to the NBA now. Had some interesting things that happened. I saw over TikTok the whole Laker end of game thing because everybody was looking at that.
Who thought? I was
I
watching
saw that name.
Pacers
I
game,
had no idea who that guy was.
okay, so I can't remember what college off the top of my head he played off of. The name
Yeah, I
is
think you're lagging on my
very.
side.
Yeah, Dylan, you did start lagging.
Oh, am I good now?
Nah.
Okay, let me refresh.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. All right. So until he comes back, yeah, that Laker game was interesting because it looked like the Lakers were on pace to get
Yeah,
another
they
win
were
here.
up 17 points.
You're good?
All right, your picture's good. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
were you saying
like a
about
little,
Nembhard?
yeah, like a little lag, and then you're good. You're good now.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. But yeah, it was crazy. I forgot all about him. Like he played at Montverde, which is like the high school like D'Angelo Russell and everybody played at. So it's
Okay.
like kind of a pretty big name, like at least when it comes to recruiting. And then he went to Gonzaga. Like I looked him up last night, and I was like, forgot all about this dude. And he was playing like pretty well, and had that buzzer beater. But
Yeah.
that was all the Lakers' fault. They, I watched that game starting in the fourth quarter as well too.
Mm-hmm. I only tuned in at the end because, well, like you said, Dylan, because if you look at it, Turner missed a wide open three.
Oh yeah,
Then Halliburton got the rebound. You know, he went to the right. And then Nembhard was just over there like waving like I'm wide open.
yes, shot for him too.
Yeah. Yeah, he does. And, you know, that kind of killed the Lakers' good streak here because they would won what? 5 out of their last 6?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that happens during the season. You know, it's not that big of a deal losing on a buzzer beater like that.
Well,
I mean, Luka's done it to the
my-
Celtics like every year the past couple of years.
My biggest issue with that late game is like they were getting too excited for like little moments. Like they get like 5, 6, 7 points, and like they're like toast, like celebrating, and it's like you're only up 7 points with like 9 minutes left to play. Like I don't think you should be celebrating like a layup or anything like that. It seemed like they would just coast. They wouldn't like play super hard, and then when they would need to, they'd get another lead again, and then they would coast. And like it got to the point where they're just had a shootout with the Pacers, and the Pacers just won at that point.
Yeah. I mean, Jordan, you're the Laker fan. I guess what would you kind of think about the game yesterday?
I mean, I didn't really. I was trying to get the stream to work because it wasn't national televised. So I kind of like Dylan, like kind of cut the like in the third into the fourth, and like Dylan said. I mean, it was all our fault. I mean, we had a good game. We were up 17, but in the fourth, I mean, they started like Buddy Hill had a bad game. That's where like they just took advantage of that. Like he wasn't really like hitting shots and stuff. But like you said, when Turner hit that wide open three and missed it. I mean, AD was on it, LeBron was on it, but they couldn't get the board. Like, and then I believe it was Halliburton who made the assist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, someone could have deflected the ball because it wasn't like an on point pass. It was kind of like wobbly, but it got to him. I don't know. It's just something that the Lakers can't. You know, they have to finish games.
Yeah, the scramble drill defense on that play was terrible. Because
a couple of the inbound plays on defense that the Lakers were defending is they were letting them buy it to the rim the whole like every inbound play. So, I mean, they had been winning games. The Lakers. I mean, they won against the Spurs, I think. So they're kind of like that's crazy. Like we were talking about the Jazz, right? And they're like number 2, number 1, number 3. Now they're number 12. So you see how the Western Conference can change. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's my whole thing with the Jazz. I was like, yeah, they're playing well, but like, how long is that gonna last?
Right? Yeah. I
Like,
don't
what
think
were they,
anybody
like
thought that was gonna
9-0,
last
10-2, and now they've lost like their last 9, 10. I don't know. They're 12-11 now.
But
So.
Yeah, 2-8 in their last 10. Yeah.
Lauri Markkanen's still shooting 32 a game. He's still getting his buckets. He's like, I might get an All-Star game. I'm all for it. Give me Lauri Markkanen in the All-Star game.
like, how do I feel about Mathurin talking all that crap to LeBron?
Love it.
Good.
Love it. You got it. I mean, you have to be confident in yourself.
Exactly.
But he gonna get humbled though. One of these days, man.
It doesn't matter. He just won.
Yeah.
LeBron can't say anything when he got shut up by Andrew Nemhard.
I don't know. I feel like, I mean, yeah, I like he's taking shots at the king, but yeah, you have to you have to like pay your respects to the king, man. Like, obviously he had like 23 points, but I mean, he was quiet in the fourth quarter, so.
Okay. How much did LeBron have?
I know
I think LeBron had 21.
King
James, man.
Pretty sure LeBron had 21.
Let me double check.
So if that's the case, Matherin's got to feel like he won the first matchup there.
LeBron had 21.
Yeah, 21. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mathurin had he can't. Did he come off the bench?
He had 23. Yeah.
All right, so 2 more points. All right.
He outperformed him. Hey.
Oh my god. All right.
I'm just saying for
that's
him.
but that's like me talking crap to Tom Brady. I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah. The mystique of the Lakers with LeBron, that's over. Teams aren't scared of them anymore. So Mathurin felt like he could say that and back it up.
Teams are scared of the Warriors, and look where they're at.
Have you seen the Warriors lately?
I'm scared of the Warriors.
Have you seen the Warriors play lately, though?
I feel like to be completely fair, and this might.
They're 8, they're 11 and 10.
I feel like this might be blown out of proportion by a little bit. But with that being said, I feel Warriors would be in a much better place, just maybe even record-wise, if that whole Draymond Green and Poole stuff didn't happen, because they're invincible. And then they showed like cracks and just being like any regular team and being dramatic, stuff like that. Klay Thompson's more outspoken. It's like this used to be a team that was like pretty quiet. You didn't used to hear a lot of drama Warriors when they were having all their championship runs. And now it seems like a lot of these players are more outspoken. Like Draymond Green didn't have a podcast when they were winning the championship before, but now they did. Like saying like that might be the reason, but like this is a Warriors team where everybody's got personalities now.
Yeah, and I
mean, it's not really the same identities as their old championship.
And the Warriors' depth that they need to like Kuminga, and I mean they sent Wiseman down to the Jew League. I mean, Wiseman was supposed to be. I know he was hurt a couple seasons into the league, but like Moses Moody, these were guys who were supposed to be stepping up big time. And like, I mean, the Curry can't do it all by himself. I mean, Klay, he's still, finding his way shooting wise.
Exactly. I mean, they relied. That's also a good point. This is Warriors teams have like relied on like a lot of like veteran depth, like depth
like
off the bench. Yeah. And now they're like relying on a lot of young guys, and those young guys aren't really picking up the slack as much as they should be. So, I mean, it's not a Warriors team when like Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Jordan Poole, when they're not playing, that team's struggling.
So like my take on the West is like, I mean, obviously, yeah, Lakers are like 7 and 12, but like, if you start winning games, I think we have the Bucks, and that's gonna be a hard one. That's gonna be going AD and against Giannis. I mean, I think Giannis is gonna probably do better than AD, but there's gonna be like two giants clashing, so it's gonna be a good matchup. But I mean, the way I look at the West is like kind of wide open because like looking at the standings in the Western Conference. I mean, not Philly.
The Nuggets
Phoenix
are one
14.
game behind. The Nuggets are one game behind from being one, and then if you go down the whole ranking, it's like 8 losses, 8 losses, 9 losses, 9 losses, 9 losses, 10 losses, 11, 11, 10, 13, 12, 15, 15. So like you get to a point where you're going down the list of losses, and like the only time you go down that list and there's going to be more than 2 losses separating a team from 10 to 11 is when you get down to the Lakers and the Spurs, and it's 3.
And even I mean, like I'm gonna say, but Boston, yes, they are top seeded, but that's even wide open. I mean, there's 3 games up against the Bucks. I mean,
they're destroying teams. Okay,
no, but they're destroying teams. But look at the conference. So like, it's like there's 3 games up against the Bucks.
I see your point. Like the East is a little bit open. In my opinion, the East is like probably going to be a bit open. But like that being said, you know who's winning the East. You know which couple teams are winning the East. In the West, it's different. Like, I'm not sure if I would pick the Suns 100%. Like, they would, but like, They had a close game against the Kings yesterday. Kevin Herter almost came back and stole the show. Watch that. Malik Monk was piecing him up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then it's
So-
even with like the Nuggets, it's like, are they going to consistently be healthy? You're going to have a full Jamal Murray and Michael Porter because like you don't really normally do.
Right.
Of course, Jokic is going to pull out. And then like with like a team who is up and comers, like the Timberwolves Cats out 4 to 6 weeks. What happens now? Like the Clippers, like Kawhi and Paul George ain't playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I guess I wouldn't say the Sixers are gonna run away with it, but I mean, they got a couple tough games coming. I mean, I know they got the Heat. I mean, they're 10-11. They got, I mean, December they got the Heat, Celtics or Nets, Raptors. They should win that. Suns, the Warriors, Clippers, Lakers.
Maybe. I don't know. You don't count out the Raptors.
Yeah, they're doing good too. So I mean, yeah, I would say Kyle's team is kind of like, yes, they're 17-4, but I wouldn't say it's wide. It's like not like solidified. They're going to be, because obviously they have a 3-game lead against the Bucks. The Bucks are like 14.
I'm just saying.
But,
What
hey.
if you put the Celtics in the West right now? They'd be 2.5 games above first, and the Suns aren't even a game and a half above the team in second. So I think the Celtics are fine.
Right.
We got Blake Griffin Duncan again. That's all I gotta say. No, but seriously though, but with the Celtics though,
I feel like once Robert Williams gets back, y'all gonna be a lot better.
right? And
That's another thing.
the defense, a lot of people are gonna question the defense with Robert Williams out. They've been playing really good defense. The thing is that Missoula, his focus has been on offense, so they've been
Right.
really going offensively. I think they're on pace to set the best scoring season of any NBA team in history because they average 121 points a game right now. And if you watch them play, all they do is every turnover, they're running up the floor. Offensively, they move a lot of, there's a lot of movement on offense. And guys like Grant Williams, Horford, Hauser, all they do is they get wide open threes all day. And
Speaking of Grant Williams, let's talk about him hitting how many free throws the other day? Was it him? No, that was Jeremy Grant. I got the wrong Grant. Okay.
yeah, Grant.
Still,
Yeah,
Jeremy
he had
Grant
like
22
28.
free throws
Yeah.
the other day.
Since when
Got the
is
wrong
Jeremy
Grant.
Grant that guy to get that many foul calls?
He dropped 40. I had him on fantasy. It's like, what?
Yeah. I mean, we normally do Am I Tripping? I guess we could do that for a little bit here, since we did kick it off the talk with the Lakers and all that. But I'm going to go with Dallas. So one thing I've heard about the Mavericks, and this is kind of something I've been thinking about the Mavericks as well. So am I tripping to say that the Mavericks would play better if they played with more tempo? Problem is, I don't know if Luka is that type of, guard to play up tempo all game. So the Mavericks might have a little bit of a conundrum on their hands, but do you think the Mavericks would do better if they played more up tempo?
I think so.
Mavericks. They signed Kemba Walker, which I'm not sure if we all knew that, but
Yeah, I'm
Mavericks
interested
signed
to see what
Kemba
that.
Walker.
Yeah,
Him and Luca, I mean, that can be something else, man.
well, they
Mavericks are,
got
what,
Kemba
9
to
and
be
10?
like the Brunson role.
Because it can take the lead off of Doncic's shoulders, like you said. He doesn't do much. I mean, he can still get numbers up and points up, but like you said, like right now he's kind of by himself on the guard. I'm not sure who the other guard is on right. Probably Kemba Walker coming in. I don't
They
know
have
who-
Hardaway Jr. They have Dinwiddie.
is he a shooting guard, Tim Hardaway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But their point
they
guard,
still
I
have
guess, they can
Dinwiddie.
do- Yeah. Oh, Dinwiddie.
Mm-hmm.
So will Kimba be starting, or would he be off
No,
the
he's a
bench?
bench guy. Yeah, he's a bench guy. You don't want Kemba Walker as your starter at this point in his career because he's been banged up the past few years. So if you're bringing in Kemba Walker, he's supposed to lead the bench unit. I think with Walker they'll probably play at a faster pace. So we'll kind of
Yeah,
see what
because I
that
want to
looks
see
like.
that Kimba and Doncic match duel. That would be nice.
They're going to keep the starting lineup that they have with, because I think they kind of go with Doncic, Hardaway Jr., Christian Wood, who has really
Well,
performed well for them.
What comes off the bench? What is their bench guy?
Oh, he's the
Not
bench guy,
started a
really?
single-
Okay.
Yeah, they single game this season.
I
Dude,
think
they
every
said
time I
that-
see the Mavericks, he's like the second best player, but I guess it probably makes
Mhm.
sense for him to be.
Him and
Did they-
Dinwiddie are tied for second in scoring.
Okay.
Do they still have that big dude? What's his name? Number 51, I think his name is the big center.
Talking
I
about
don't know.
Boban?
Yeah, Boban. Yeah, you still have him.
Nah, JaVale McGee. They're running JaVale McGee and Dwight Powell. That's
Yeah.
their center word of the future.
Good old JaVale
Man, I
McGee.
don't know with the Mavericks because I don't necessarily think they need to run more tempo. I think they just need more players. Because you look at it you really think this team is going to be a team to win with Luka Doncic, Christian Wood, Spencer Dinwiddie, Tim Hardaway? I'm sorry. If I'm looking at the Warriors, I'm going to Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, Draymond Green. This Mavericks team's good. They made it to the Western Conference Finals last year, but of course, they didn't have Christian Wood last year. They had Jalen Brunson. But I don't know. I feel like Brunson was a lot helpful because he ended up being a great scorer off the bench. And don't get me wrong, Dinwiddie dropping 17 points a game isn't bad, and Christian Wood doing the same. But Wood's coming off the bench. I think Dinwiddie's coming off the bench. No. It says he started all of his games. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think Walker is gonna be helpful. And Tim Hardaway hasn't looked good. He's averaging 10 points a game. I feel like they just need a lot more. I mean, even looking at their bench squad, I'm pretty sure Reggie Bullock and Maxi Kleber isn't really gonna win you a chip. Maybe if you threw those guys on the Warriors, then yeah, or threw those guys on a championship contender team, maybe, but not on this Mavericks team.
I mean, I'll give the Mavericks credit. I think the Mavericks have built a team around Luka based off of Luka's skill set. Because all those guys are supposed to be spot-up shooters. The problem is Hardaway's having a down year. And I think he's probably the most important guy because Hardaway's a guy who can heat up and drop 35 on a random night.
Right.
Just that
He
he
used to
hasn't
be
done
a
that.
close to 20-point average, a season type of guy, and that's just not him this season. It could possibly happen, but I don't know, man. He's coming off he was injured last season, so he barely even played. He's getting a lot of money. You're giving that dude a lot of money not to perform. I don't know. Making it to the Western Conference Finals, I feel like the Mavericks should have a little bit of a higher expectations, and I don't know. It was just. And it's weird. It was questionable them trading Porzingis. I understand why they did. It made sense why they did it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure if changing up this offense will work because Luke is playing so great as now. I think you just need more pieces on the bench for when Luka does have not even necessarily off games, but when Luka drops 24 or 25 a night rather than his 30, 40-point triple doubles. Who's picking up that slack?
Right. I think they messed up when they. Obviously, this is going to be another hot take that they messed up when they. Obviously, we've seen Brunson ball in New York, even though they're not winning, averaging 30 a night, 30 a game, and then they let go of Porzingis. That could have been that stretch big that they needed. He's going off in Washington.
Porzingis was always hurt in Dallas, though.
I know, but he's going good this year, man. With the Washington.
I don't think that. I think on paper it was a nice fit. I think. It looked nice.
Well, I think Porzingis didn't he have issues with the front office? I think, or was that Luka?
They probably had issues with him because Porzingis would disappear.
Well, I heard a couple years or maybe a year ago that Luka had a little outing with the front office. That was prior to them signing Jason Kidd, though. So, I think isn't Luka's deal almost up there? In a couple of years.
He got a fat extension.
Yeah.
Oh, when?
This offseason. Sure, him and Trae Young both got their massive extensions.
Yeah. Just I'm looking at it now, with him in Washington. He's averaging 20 something, 25 a game, I think.
I think look good on paper for the Mavericks, but one, like Kyle said, Porzingis not playing didn't help. And he did play. He just didn't look like he fit there. I don't know. It looked good on paper, getting the long stretch 4 tie in Dallas. After you kind of had Dirk there, you need 2 foreign dudes to hook up. Looks good. It reminds you of some more classic Maverick days with Steve Nash and Dirk. But no,
Yeah, I feel like Christian Wood's filling the role Porzingis was supposed to fill better
I feel
than
like
Porzingis
Christian
did.
Wood, perfect 6 man of the year can't. I've always felt like Christian Wood was a perfect piece off the bench.
Yeah.
Like I felt like they maybe should have started him if need be. And I think when it comes down to the play, if the Mavericks do make it, probably will be started. But it's a perfect piece off the bench right now. It being said, they don't really have anybody who's a scorer besides, Dinwiddie, who also is starting, who's getting most of the starting points off. Let's have any bench scores is really what it is outside of Christian Wood.
Yeah.
Your fourth highest scorer is 10 points. I imagine we got a bunch of teams and their fourth average score is probably 15, 16. And you probably have a list of scorers averaging like 13, 12, 10. It just doesn't shoot straight down to 10.
Right.
Right, yeah. Well, I'm thinking the Celtics' fourth leading scorer, I think, is Marcus Smart. He averages like 11 and a half a game.
Yeah, but Marcus Smart's also doing his work on the defensive end.
Right.
So if Marcus Smart's averaging 10 points a game, and you look at who's your top three, Brown, Tatum, and Brogdon.
Yeah.
So like they're probably averaging 15, 16.
Yeah, Brogdon's around 14, 15, and then the two Jays are over 25.
20. Yeah. I mean, that'd be different if Spencer Dinwiddie is averaging 25 points a game. Maybe you could give it a little bit of a pass, but he's only averaging 17.
Right.
That's 8 points that they're missing out on. So I don't know. The Mavericks are just weird. It's not like they even have really pieces to move to trade unless you want to move on from like Reggie Bullock or Maxi Kleber. But what are you going to get? Second round picks. Maybe if you're lucky, a first, or like if you can bind them together, you get like a decent piece from someone. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So my next one, kind of sticking on
a huge Mavericks tangent.
No, that's fine because my next one was kind of based off of Luka. So Luka played the Celtics the other day, and he said that Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum are the best duo in the NBA. So, am I tripping if I say I agree with Luka on that one?
So, if we're thinking duos, let's think of some what are some other duos in the league?
So you'd have,
I guess, Kawhi.
So you'd have
and Paul
LeBron,
George.
AD, Kawhi, Paul George. You'd have Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland. You would have.
Will Lowry and Butler be one or not?
No, I'd
probably go
more
Butler,
Adebayo and Butler.
Yeah, Adebayo and Butler. Giannis and Middleton.
I don't know.
Embiid, Harden.
Okay, see, that's all the ones that you said. I would say no, but when you say Embiid, Harden, you listen to that one. You're like, okay, that you can make an argument there.
KD, Kyrie, if you're
okay,
fan of that experiment. Booker, Paul. Jokic, Murray. Zion and Bi, Brandon Ingram.
That's a sneaky
I need
one. Honestly,
to see more of that.
More of that. I'm listening to all of those, and I guess you could give me a case if we're talking about career wise. I'd probably take I'd take Kawhi Leonard and Paul George over those two career wise. But if we're talking about right now, current NBA,
I think Luka was saying currently, yeah.
Yeah, if we're talking about current NBA wise, yeah, it makes total sense. They're first in the East comfortably. They're the best team. It's not even that they're first in the East; they're first in the NBA comfortably. Like I said, they're 2.5 games above anybody in second. So, yeah, you said both players are averaging around 25. They're both. I know Tatum's doing his work on the rebounding end and passing end as well. I don't have any hate against that. You wouldn't even have to try to convince me hard to believe that. I agree.
All right, Jordan, what you think?
But I will say, if I had to get it a close second, I really do like Embiid and Harden is kind of nice and I wouldn't even say Harden's not really necessarily having a bad season. He's still been playing pretty good. He's had some really good games this season. Plus, Embiid always does his thing too.
I mean, I say right now, it will probably be those two. But for my career, I definitely go with a healthy LeBron and AD.
Oh, of course.
Who's stopping that, man? Who's stopping that, man?
AD falling to the floor.
Mickey Mouse rings.
And but I mean Kawhi. Kawhi can't stay healthy either. So
I know. Well, I wouldn't name them. I would say
Yeah.
career wise, I'd probably go Curry.
I mean, I'll
Clay
probably go
would be
Curry
that
and Clay
one.
too.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that too.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Giannis and Middleton is
Yeah,
a
but
really good
Middleton's
duo.
hurt though, isn't he? Or is he
Yeah,
back?
but Middleton's been hurt. I would say right now, I like the idea of Drew Holiday over Middleton, and yeah, Drew Holiday's been playing like pretty good as well. We can't also forget about Trae Young and DeJounte Murray.
What about
I know it's
John
a fairly new
Morant?
combo.
What about who's the dude for John Morant? John Morant
And nobody, Jaren Jackson when he comes
But, yeah,
back, which
Jaren
he should be
Jackson's
coming
hurt.
what
back.
about Bain?
Soon.
John Bain.
Bane's been injured a little bit. He hasn't played
Well, I'm
the past
saying it's
week
like
or
a
so.
healthy Bain.
Nah,
He's been
Jaren
playing.
Jackson's more important than Bane.
And he's been playing nice though.
Yeah.
An average, a cool number.
The Trae Young, DeJounte Murray one, I'm still not sold on that pair working.
Man, I just saw Trae Young drop 40 and Murray drop 30 the other night,
And
and
they lost.
those are good nights. Okay, fair. But with that being said, it happens.
You can't have
know?
two guys scoring almost 40 and lose. Who'd they lose to? I can't remember who they lost to that game.
She was like the Kings.
Oh, yeah, you can't have that happen.
It was the Kevin Herter revenge game. It's my bad.
Was it really the Kings?
It was the Kings of the Heat. I think it was the Heat. Actually.
Might have been the Heat. Yeah. Because the Kings, I'll give the Kings
No,
credit.
it wasn't.
Oh, who was it?
Well, I just looked at it. It was the Rockets.
Yeah, you can't lose to the Rockets with your two top guys scoring
Yeah.
over 40.
Yeah.
Well, Murray had
Murray.
less than
Murray
40.
almost had 40. He had 39.
I remember that game because they were talking crazy trash to Houston after the third quarter, and then Houston outscored them by like 16 in the fourth and won the game. Yeah, I remember that game.
That was the Bruno Fernando revenge game. That's my bad.
Bruno from Maryland, man. I remember him.
The Hawks. The Hawks are frustrating to watch at times.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Well, I mean, it's because, like I said, being in the Atlanta area, I started paying attention to the Hawks, and that Eastern Conference Finals run they made a couple of years ago, it made a lot of people around Atlanta really cocky about the Hawks, and I was like, I need to calm down because I don't know if they'll sustain it, and they haven't really done it since then. And then now this year they brought in Murray, and everybody's like, oh, here we go, the Hawks are back. It's like, just let it play out. Let's see what the rest of the team looks like.
I don't know. I was very vocal in the offseason. I loved DeJounte Murray before we even traded for him. Like, I thought he was like a great piece. So, like, me being a Hawks fan, and I'm already a big Trae Young fan because big OU guy. So, like, I have a little bit, like, more like towards Trae Young and the Hawks. So, seeing, like, I would honestly say, like, outside of, like, maybe, like, D'Angelo Russell or someone like that, because I like D'Angelo Russell a lot back in his older days. I liked him on the Nets a lot. But, like, DeJounte Murray is, like, one of my favorite guards as well. So, seeing my two favorite guards on the same team, ecstatic.
Yeah.
Right.
But I don't know. It's kind of hard to figure out where the Hawks kind of fit in the hierarchy of the East. Because, like, you wouldn't put them over Boston, Milwaukee, Philly. We've seen what Miami's done to them in the playoffs before, so you wouldn't put them over them. But then that next group down, now you're talking about teams like...
I would say the Cavs are debatable.
Okay.
I'd
probably take the Cavs, but I can see the debate there. Yes,
the Pacers are technically ahead of them right now, but I would take.
I think they're better than the Pacers.
The Raptors are interesting because Scotty Barnes is there, Fred VanVleet. The Wizards, the Nets. You'd probably take the Nets if everyone's playing good. If everyone's there,
that's a big if, but yeah.
The Bulls. I'm not sure I'd take the Bulls.
I think the Bulls need to start selling off pieces.
So you got them around 6th, 7th seed, so that's not horrible.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Okay. And we need to decide what we're doing with John Collins. Like it seems like every time we talk about trading John Collins, he just does like absolutely crazy highlight plays for a week and then plays like absolute crap, and then we talk about trading him and then he does something again. Like maybe we just need to talk about trading him all the time.
I think they need to move him. I don't see,
agree.
Especially now you brought in Murray. Collins kind of doesn't really fit with them.
But
Right.
what do you move him for? What do you like? I hear the Suns, and it's like, what do we get from the Suns? Because they're not going to trade Mikal Bridges. I'd love
No.
that trade. That would be amazing. But that's not going to happen. DeAndre Ayton. What would you do with Capella then?
Right.
It's like
Aiden's like Aiden's play the same obviously. Aiden's kind of better than Capella, but it's kind of playing the Capella role, of getting bored
Yeah.
and just.
it's like
So it's like,
DeAndre Ayton average. I'm not sure what Ayton exactly averages, but he's a close, probably point rebound averaging guy. They're probably fairly close numbers. Same with like Capella's been a multiple time. I'm pretty sure he's won the rebound few with the Hawks twice. And
how
with the Hawks.
how was Capella? He's like, is he in his late 20s or early 30s or?
I think Capella's still relatively young.
28. He's probably 28, 29.
Yeah. That's still
I don't know for sure,
prime
No, well, I
years.
thought he was either younger or older for some reason because I couldn't like he's kind of like a player we don't talk about. So
It's like I want the Hawks to like shut up if they're gonna move John Collins. Like if you're moving, do it. I don't for what could you hypothetically get for him? It's like you're
You
replacing
probably
with
have to
another
package
center.
him with somebody. And probably Capella. But then you still have a Kongwu. But if you're gonna go after Ayton, you'd have to put Capella in that deal. And then would Phoenix want Capella?
I mean, there's been talks about like moving some of the younger pieces we don't use, like Jalen Johnson. No, they don't.
I
really use
hated
him
that pick.
much. I did too. I was not. I don't remember who went, but I know. My dad. My dad's a Warriors fan, but he's an OU fan as well, so he loves trading as much as I do. And like we were watching that draft, we were not happy.
Yeah, I filed Jalen Johnson under the list of Duke players that you don't need to draft high. Because something about him at Duke I didn't like. I don't know what it was.
It's always those young people that really play, though. It's always weird.
Yeah.
Because he didn't play that much there, did he?
TNT.
Like, not a lot of games, I don't.
Yeah, he did. I think that might have been part of the reason why I didn't understand the pick. And even in the games he played, I wasn't really impressed by him. But I mean, that was kind of the way of, the draft now. Draft really young guys and hope on potential.
Yeah,
But
we
he-
took him. We took him at like I think 20, and I think Keon Johnson was there. But I think I wanted Isaiah Jackson at the time because I wasn't 100% sold on Capella, so I was like Isaiah Jackson, and I liked Cam Thomas a lot. So I mean, looking at it now, Herb Jones, that would have been nice.
Thomas doesn't even play in Brooklyn. I don't really get that either.
Yeah.
But I mean, the draft is a crapshoot anyway. But Jalen Johnson, I didn't like that. I mean, I know Jordan, you're the Duke guy, but I don't know if you remember Jalen Johnson's time at Duke.
I don't know. So
Yeah.
there's some of you Duke players that are.
I know.
I really don't think. I think he played like 7 games. Like, if I'm being completely honest, like I'm
Yeah,
going
he did like the Kyrie Irving thing because Kyrie didn't play a lot of games at Duke either.
They have a college basketball reference. I gotta find this. You guys can keep talking. I'm just gonna keep going on the Jalen Johnson banter.
Yeah. No, my thing has always been with Duke guys, you have to be careful with the ones you pick up. Banchero, I think, is a lock to be a star in this league. So love that pick. But the ones
You also
like
got,
Johnson,
Zion.
well, Zion, I mean, the biggest thing with Zion would be conditioning, and we'll have to see if he ever figures that out or whatever. But
So many Jalen Johnsons the last 5 years. I'm not in college basketball reference, and there's 5 Jalen Johnsons. Okay,
Wow.
but there's only one of them that played 1 year. So that was easy.
okay. Well, they did say, I think, with the Fab Five and Jalen Rose, the name Jalen really took off. I think that's what they said.
Okay, so we played 13 games, and there's 30 in a season plus a conference championship and a tournament.
Yeah, that's not a lot.
He started 8 of them, but in those games, he averaged 11. This is college basketball, so this isn't horrible. 11, 6, and 2. The 6 being rebounds. So,
That's not bad. Yeah, especially on a Duke squad where Duke usually has a lot of talent. Yeah, 11-6-2 is fine.
2021. That was
Yeah.
before Bankero, so
Yeah. All right. I think we can move on to the NFL. Kind
Yeah.
of because we spent a lot of time on MLB and NBA.
talking crap on
So
the Mavericks and Jalen Johnson.
yeah.
Actually, they're
Dang.
playing the Mavericks playing the Warriors right now.
Yeah, I saw
Okay.
that. Not
That's gonna be interesting. I kind of think the Warriors probably win that
Yeah, they're
game, but
playing. I think the Warriors are
I think the
playing. They're
Mavericks are up.
young. Yeah, they're about like 42 to 39, 38. So, but they're playing their young.
Oh, when I checked earlier, the Mavericks were up by like 17, so the Warriors dropped
I
that
think, I
score a
think the
little
Warriors.
bit.
They're not playing Clay. I don't think that they're playing the young stars, or like the young players. I mean,
okay.
like Lamb. I don't know who Lamb is. I don't know. I mean, Kaminga's
Anthony
playing.
Lamb season.
I mean,
Oh, I think Draymond's playing. Draymond's out. And
well, gotta
no,
have some veteran presence with the kids.
yeah, right. So it looks like there's kind of like I see Draymond, Kaminga, Lamb out there.
Kaminga's looked
Poole's
good
out
past
there.
couple of games.
Oh no, never mind. Is that Curry out there? I can't see. I'm in the back of my basement, so I can't.
No.
All right.
I feel like going up against Luka, Curry probably wouldn't miss that game.
Yeah.
That seems like a game he'd want to play in. But
yeah. Curry's out. Yeah, no.
Okay,
he's out
I
there.
figured. All right, so
All right.
let's do some NFL review before we get to our picks. Thumbs up, thumbs down, like we normally do. I was going to say the Hunter Henry was a catch, but we kind of said before that. I thought it was a catch. Dylan thought it was a catch.
Yeah, I thought it was a catch.
Yeah.
Like my biggest thing with
I mean,
that,
the ball
though,
did
is, like,
bobble, but the ball did bobble. Don't get me wrong, but the arm was under the ball, and so
Yeah.
kind of was moving. So, but he
the thing
had.
that pisses me off about the NFL rules catches, like if he's going down and this like the ball is in his arm and he slams down on the ground, why does it matter if it bobbles afterwards? He hit the ground. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a lot of people, if they're holding something and they land on the ground, after they hit the ground, like something's gonna pop out. But if he made it on the ground, knees on the ground, everything on the ground, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, why does it matter if it bobbles after he already had his elbow and knees hit the ground? Like, you would have
Well,
called
I mean,
him
I
down
could-
anyways.
Well, I mean,
That's-
obviously, I mean, we can talk about that Ravens game, but that catch was not a catch.
Michael
I mean, it wasn't a
Hasty.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, yes, it was a catch. It was a catch.
Yeah, I was just saying. I was
mean,
going to
yeah.
use that as one we talked about before, so I'll go to another one. All right, so thumbs up, thumbs down. Where do I want to go? All right. Even though Seattle lost and they are now sitting outside the playoffs,
It's because I picked him. I picked him the last 2 weeks, and we've lost the last 2 weeks. I'm just saying, like, it's
well, I
happening
mean,
again.
it took a otherworldly game out of Josh Jacobs to win that one.
Fair.
But you're still confident. Like, I'm still confident the Seahawks still make the playoffs and the Giants miss the playoffs. So thumbs up if you agree. The Giants will fall out. Seahawks will regain their standing in the playoffs. Thumbs down if you disagree with that.
I mean, I'm not going to put something on there. I'm going to jinx it. But with that being said, I've been pretty open about the Giants dropping out of the playoffs. Losing your top receiver and top cornerback probably for the rest of the season is not really great. Unless they're going to get super production out of Richie James, I don't really think the Giants are going to be great. They have a tougher schedule, especially with the Commanders rising up. You got the Eagles, you got the Cowboys. Like Martin, someone who's on this channel a lot, says the NFC East is the best conference in football, and right now it is. I mean, just looking at it team wise, it is right now. So
Yeah, I know you. Yeah, we need to get Martin on this show because I know you and Martin are going back and forth, brother, man. I get like when you said about like the whole like.
Okay, so the
whole,
backstory
like,
to that is when I first started my YouTube channel, there was like certain fan bases that I could really get under their skin. The Giants were one. Packers fans, I could get under their skin just talking about Rodgers. So when Martin started talking about the Giants, I was like, here's my opportunity. I want to see if I could rope Martin into it. And I got to give him credit. He fell for it like hook, line, and sinker, but, it is what it is. Giants fans love Eli Manning. I think he's overrated.
Do
Whatever.
you think he's a Hall of Famer? Yes or no?
No, I don't.
No.
But Giants fans will tell me, oh, they beat the Patriots. I don't care. Those were on the backs of Strahan, Tuck, Umanura, and that defense. Yeah, Eli made the helmet catch play, which was actually a sack, but they didn't call it. And then he made that throw to Manningham, which I will say was a really good throw by Eli. Other than that, what else? The rest of his career, they were missing the playoffs most times, and I was like, he's like the modern day Joe Namath. Where Joe Namath, if you looked at his numbers, you'd probably be like, that's not Hall of Famer. But Joe Namath was like a larger than life character in the NFL back then, and I think that helped him. With Eli, he gets the help of his last name being Manning and how much Peyton is loved and Archie's loved. I think people look at Eli a little bit more than they should. That's my only stance on Eli.
Imagine if he never got traded.
Do you feel like Eli deserves a Hall of Fame bid though?
Like, I'm okay
Maybe
if they
a
put
bit.
him in down the line, but people make it seem like he's going to be first ballot.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't
I
agree
strutting
with
into
him. He's
the
a
Hall of
first
Fame.
ballot.
I want to say first ballot, but he definitely deserves.
But man, the NFL loves nostalgia. They love those big
Yeah.
plays. They love those big moments. So he might just get it off of him having some credible moments, beating an undefeated team in the Super Bowl, that catch, him being
Yeah.
Manning. NFL loves nostalgia.
But I've also said if you let Eli in, you're now opening the door. You can't say Matt Ryan's not a Hall of Famer. You can't say Philip
Maybe,
Rivers
baby.
isn't a Hall of Famer. Guys like that now should get in if you're going to put Eli in.
Man, it also I think accolades are hand in hand because if Philip Rivers ever won a Super Bowl, at least Matt Ryan has an
No.
MVP to his name.
Yeah. Well, Philip Rivers put up crazy numbers in San Diego.
But yeah, but with no, never mind. Actually, with no ring, but no. I mean, I would love to see Fuller with a ring because he was putting up numbers, man. And just the team he had around him. I mean, he had what Antonio Gates.
That's why they got a team Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So, but Philip Rivers, he was that quarterback that was,
But Philip Rivers does have a moment, though. He played that playoff game against the Patriots with like a torn up knee.
So Matthew Stafford fucking threw a touchdown with a broken shoulder. It happens.
And if Eli gets in, Matt Stafford's going to get in too.
My thing with it is, it's like I get players that have great stats and stuff like that, but again, it's just the accolades with me because it's like, yeah, you can have amazing stats, but if you go 8-8 every year and never make the playoffs, it's like, were you not a great leader? Like, could you just throw the ball, but when it came down to it, like, did you not know what to do? And it's like, does someone like that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Who knows? But also at the same time, you never know when it just bad teams, just the organization, just coaches, just that player never really got a great opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's really always hard to tell.
My thing with Eli has always been, it's just like, if you look at the Giants' career while Eli was there, you see like a lot of last place finishes in the NFC East, a lot of third place finishes. And it's like those 2 Super Bowl years were like the 2 good years in that whole run.
Really?
Sounds like consistency wise, it just wasn't there with Eli, which is why I've always kind of been down on him being like this lockstep Hall of Famer. But we'll see. I mean, who knows? Who knows who they let in?
I guess it would just depend on who's on the ballot with him. And if you look at who's
That's
on the
true.
ballot and none of those names are as super great and flashy, you'd kind of look at Eli and you'd be like, oh, okay. No.
Yeah, I can agree with that. All right, next thumbs up, thumbs down. The Packers should sit Rodgers the rest of the year and go with Jordan Love.
thumbs down. I mean, wait, thumbs down means he should be benched, right? Or thumbs
Thumbs
up.
up, you think Rodgers should be benched. Thumbs down, Rodgers should keep playing.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I need
because it's like they're not really
need
going to
Brett-
make the playoffs now, right?
I need Brett's advice on this, man. He's a Packers fan. I need his advice.
No, you don't. Your eyes. Just trust your eyes on this one.
Thumbs up, man.
There you go. See, trust your eyes.
It's just like damn. Like, I mean, Jordan Love's the only option, and like, I mean, they might as well just tank the rest of the season. But I do like that their receiver Watkins though. He's nice.
Watson, yeah.
Yeah, Watson.
Yeah. Maybe if Aaron Rodgers didn't trash him the preseason, maybe he would have trusted him earlier in the season.
I don't know because I know the Packers aren't
Like,
going to
isn't he
bench
hurt
Rodgers.
too?
Well, no. Aaron Rodgers was on Pat McAfee's show, I'm pretty sure, today, and he was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I'm going to play Sunday.
Well, we know what that answer is, and I don't want to say it. Take some drugs, and so he'll be good.
But my thing is, we had to hear all week about his thumb. No, what he said.
Okay, I'm going to fact check this before I 100% say it, but like he said something wild to him that I saw, and I'm not 100% sure if I was being trolled, so go on and finish, but
Okay. Well, my thing was like, we spent the whole week hearing about, Aaron Rodgers is toughening out with his thumb. Every time he made a bad throw, what did he do? Grab the thumb, the camera zoom in, they're like, oh, his thumb's bothering him. And then he took that hit in the game, and everybody's like, oh, his ribs are hurting or whatever. But it's like, they're 4-8 right now. The rest of their schedule, you tell me how many wins you think they get out of these last few games here. They have the Bears Sunday, which I mean,
that's when
if Justin Fields doesn't play,
play,
that should be a win. Then you have their bye week. You have the Rams.
That's a winnable game.
Yeah. They're the Dolphins in Miami. I'm not confident they could beat the Dolphins.
Okay. It was Deshaun Kaiser that he was talking about, but okay.
Oh, okay. Then they have the Vikings.
Whose schedule is this? The Seahawks schedule?
No, this is the Packers.
Oh, the Packers schedule. Okay.
Yeah. So Bears, bye week, then Rams, Dolphins, Vikings, Lions. How many of those games are you?
I can see them beating the Bears because isn't Fields kind of hurt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can see them taking that game.
Okay.
Bye a week, get some rest. And who they had after the bye after that?
They have the Rams, Dolphins, Vikings.
I can see them beating the Rams because Cooper Kupp is out.
Okay.
And then after that they have the Seahawks, right?
No, Dolphins, Vikings, Lions.
Oh, Dolphins. I mean, they're gonna get mollywopped by the Dolphins.
Okay.
It's on Christmas, bro.
Yeah.
In
Miami,
mollywop ass whooping on Christmas, man. So
the
Vikings on New Year's Day.
And then the Lions. And the Lions are sneaky.
See, I would say they would beat the Lions, but the Lions beat the Packers. So
I could see a world where the Packers just run the table. But also, with that being said, I see 3-2. I see 3-2, 4-1 being very possible. Like I don't believe in the Vikings. Like I don't know. They play great and then they play very, very bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I don't know what the Vikings are doing. Especially right. I don't trust the Vikings playoff time. But yeah, I mean they could at least win 3-4 of those games.
Okay, so best case they go 4-1. You're looking at 8-9 at the end of the year. I mean, the NFC, could that get you in? Maybe. I don't think, but it could get you in.
I'd feel more if they went out at 9-8. I could feel more confident about them having a playoff spot. But 8-9,
yeah, that's dicey.
When Dylan makes that noise, like it's not good.
Right.
Man, I mean, this is like the second year we've had 17 game season. I'm not sure how I feel about an 8-9 team making it, but we had 9-8 teams make it last season, right? So it's possible, I guess. To me, it's not out of the ordinary that a team under 500 has made the playoffs.
Okay.
Just because usually they win the division, but like that's here nor there.
Right, and that's kind of where the Bucks are right now. Bucks are below 500. If the Bucks weren't the division winner, they'd kind of be in the same boat as the Packers right now. So maybe you might be a little bit more optimistic in playing Rodgers. But for me, looking at that 5-game stretch, I think they go probably 2-3. So you're looking at a 6-win team. And I feel like at some point, you kind of just have to throw Jordan Love out there to see what he's capable of. Because let's say Rodgers leaves at the end of the season, and you don't draft another quarterback because now you're like, hey, we're gonna give Jordan Love a chance now. We don't know what that looks like. We've seen him in spot starts, probably 2 or 3. He didn't look good, but that's only because he hasn't had starter reps consistently to get better. But I don't know. I just say sit him because I was assuming that this thumb was like fractured 3 different ways and he's toughing it out. But if they're not going to make the playoffs, what's the point?
My thing with that, it's like, what's the whole point of playing? You can't move Aaron Rodgers, especially with after. Like, how big was the contract that he signed? What was it? 3 years? 4? How many years was it?
It might have been 3. I don't think they went as far as 4.
So no matter what, you're gonna still have a large cap space moving him. You're gonna have some dead cap moving him, and it's just like, what was the whole point of not trading him last year? Like I felt like.
I mean, I never understood why the Packers stuck with him. I thought when he was threatening retirement and all that, threatening to host Jeopardy, I thought that was Green Bay's best opportunity to move him because I don't see him winning a title in Green Bay. Like the way that the team's currently set up, the way that he's been playing.
Their O-line is problems and stuff. Yeah,
there's a lot of issues.
Yeah.
You're tying up so much cap space on a quarterback who, yes, is a legend, but what else are you going to do for the rest of because like the offensive line, you got to fix that. You have, a lot of people don't like their wide receiver group, so you got to fix that. You have 2 really good running backs, but how long are you going to have them for? Defensively, they're pretty good, but they could use some upgrades.
And what about what about the coach? Do you like Matt LaFleur as a coach?
I like LaFleur. I think it's just a product of Aaron Rodgers, where if it's not the great season the Packers are supposed to have, they got to put blame somewhere. And for Green Bay, it's always easy to put it on the coach. That's all it is with LaFleur. I think LaFleur is a good coach.
Because I look at the Packers and I'm like, okay, let's decide if they move on from Aaron Rodgers, they trade him to whoever that might be. You're gonna have dead cap, and now you're throwing Jordan Love into this mix, and you're still gonna have the same issues. The Packers O-line's still gonna not be great. He's not gonna still have a lot of weapons and everything like that. And now you also are gonna have maybe a little bit more cap to spend, but not as much as you would have if you maybe had Aaron Rodgers for another year or something along those lines. I don't know. The Packers really shot themselves in the foot drafting Jordan Love and then not. They should have moved Rodgers last year, being completely honest. Like, it just makes the Jordan Love move seem worse by keeping him. He's going to be in his 4th, 5th season now. And you spent a first-round pick on him, and it's not looking like you're going to play him as a starter anytime soon. So, I don't know. I feel like they should move Jordan Love before they move Rodgers and see if they can get more picks just to help out for Rodgers. Because I don't know. Because he's gonna walk sooner or later. He's not gonna want to be year 7 backing up 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Because it's like, what's the point? You've wasted your whole career. It feels like.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, totally agree. Do one more thumbs up, thumbs down, then we'll get to the picks because. Kind of an hour and a half, so got a few more things to talk about. All right, so let's see. Kind of want to talk about Buffalo. Try to see what thumbs up, thumbs down I want to do on Buffalo.
Bills.
All right. So from my experience of watching the Bills, I figured out that the Bills, out of almost any other team in the AFC, probably need the 1 seed more than only because I say that I feel like the Bills are a much different animal at home than on the road. And I don't know if I fully trust Buffalo on the road in the playoffs. So, like I said, the thumbs up, thumbs down is the number 1 seed more important to Buffalo than any other team in the AFC? I think it is.
I think it is.
I would go thumbs up.
I'll go thumbs up on that one. But
there are some other teams I could say that for, but I think Buffalo really needs.
Yeah, I was just scrolling over the teams.
I would say if the
Buffalo.
Bills. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I probably agree Buffalo because I don't know. They play close to teams they probably shouldn't. Did you see like Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen hugging after they barely beat the Lions? Like they just beat some
Right. Yeah.
world beater. I would say, yeah, the only other team I would say that'd be different is maybe the Titans, but we also saw the Titans with a first round bye last year and they still lost. So
Yeah.
I mean, I would say the number one seed is good for the Bills, but if they go like on like a late season run and they're hot, I'd rather them go into the playoffs straight off the bat, have a game because like that. I mean, obviously that rest, that's good for like players, or that bye is good for like players getting rest. But
Mhm.
I think that's with any team like that's up in the top tier. Like if you're a hot late in like week 15, week 13, week 17, or there's 18 weeks, right? In the NFL this year.
Yeah. 17 games, 18 weeks. Yeah.
So
oh my god, I didn't even-
how does that make sense? 17 games for 18 weeks. What?
Well, because each
Bye
team
weeks.
has
Every
a
team
bye
gets a bye
week.
week.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. So yeah, I mean, I feel like yes, the Bills definitely do deserve that number one seed to get that bye, but like, I mean, if they're hot, I mean, it's kind of like that could be like have being off for what an extra week could backtrack them.
Fair.
So
That's true.
I actually like that analysis a lot. The Bills are one of those teams that like if they can get rolling, they get rolling. And if you give them like 1 week of an off week, even if they're getting their relax and everything like that, like then may not fire the same.
yeah, like I mean, if you're hot, red hot, at the end of the season, you get that bye week, and then you have that rest, and that you're just sitting around and watching the other games, and like you play Kansas City, you're gonna possibly get beat because like obviously, if the Kansas City doesn't have that bye week, they're gonna be hot off the bat out of the season.
Yeah,
So.
man, teams probably want Kansas City to have that. No one wants to face Kansas City in the first
Yeah.
round. If Kansas City doesn't get that bye, you got to be shaking. Like if you're any NFL team.
And who knows? I'm not trying to be. I mean, maybe I am kind of biased, but say if we get to the playoffs, like our defense, man, like no one wants to see our defense. We're red hot, like what I'm saying, because
I mean, I bet some teams
Roquan
want to see your
Smith.
secondary.
yeah, but I mean, we should be getting Dobbins back in December, late December. We should be getting Marcus Williams back. He's coming back. So I mean, with Roquan Smith holding that middle of the position, and Pat Queen, like
I will
I'm saying
continue to say it each week.
but no, I'm saying any defense,
No,
like,
I got you.
But
My thing is,
go ahead.
the Ravens' offense just doesn't scare anybody.
I mean,
And-
hey,
Yeah.
but come playoff time,
Yeah.
anything can happen. in the
Come
playoffs.
playoff time, the Ravens haven't done anything with that offense.
Yeah, but we have a different defense. I mean, obviously, Marlon Humphrey.
You've always had great defenses. The Ravens have always had some pretty
I
stout
mean, yeah, no, I'm
defenses.
saying like
Even
in
when
the
you
past couple. But I'm saying the past couple years we had injuries. Marlon Humphrey, we didn't have Marlon Humphrey. Peters was out, so Gus Edwards was
Fair.
out.
The
fair,
scariest
but
part
like
of the
when you
Ravens
talk about the
defense-
Ravens, when you talk about the Ravens though, like what's the number one thing like as a weakness when you bring up when you talk about the Ravens? It's their offensive pieces and injuries, of course, but like offensively outside of injuries, it's always like they don't really have weapons. That's not
See.
Mark
I saw
Andrews.
this. I don't want to like advertise. I hate advertising out, but like they had the same argument with Darren Orlovsky and Stephen A. on First Take. How Darren Orlovsky said that there's Stephen A. said there's 5 teams ahead of the Ravens that are better in the AFC. There's the Bills,
Okay.
Agreed.
the Bills, the Miami,
Agreed.
Titans, I think. But
Agreed.
Darren Orlovsky said that they're 7-4. It's not like they're
Yeah.
like 6-5. I mean,
The
obviously,
Giants have 7 wins.
I know,
And they
but,
beat
I mean,
you.
I mean, yes, they beat us, but I mean, are they gonna make the playoffs? Probably not. So that win doesn't really matter, in my eyes. I mean, yeah, it does count in their eyes because they got the win, but
Mhm.
I mean, they're 7-4, and we play the Broncos. I think Steelers. I think Falcons, and then I think we play Steelers again. And then we play Bengals. So I mean, I
You
guess
got
Steelers
a
winning out.
lucky schedule. Yeah, Denver, Pittsburgh. No, it's Denver, Pittsburgh, Cleveland,
Oh,
Atlanta,
Cleveland.
Pittsburgh, Cincinnati.
Yeah, and there was a couple games that's TBDs. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure the time they're gonna.
Yeah, because the NFL can flex games later in the
Flex
season
games.
based off of importance. That's why they're
Gotcha.
TBD.
So I'm pretty sure they're gonna flex those 2 games. I think the Browns because Watson's back. and I think they're gonna flex the Bengals game because they're both TBD.
Oh yeah,
And they don't have a time.
Yeah, the Bengals one they'll
1,000%,
flex. The
that's gonna
Browns
be the
one.
Sunday night
Well,
game.
I'm saying the
1,000%
Browns because the
Bengals
Browns
game's
on the
Sunday night.
well on ESPN they have the
That'll be for a
Browns
playoff
Ravens
spot.
game on TBD, so they have those games at TBD. So,
It'll just depend on what
probably
other
they
games
might-
are on the schedule that week.
but
I don't
like
think there
said,
will be any game as important as Baltimore
Yeah.
Cincinnati week, the final
Right,
game of
yeah.
the season.
right. But that's what I was saying. Like the only game I see maybe us. I mean, we did beat the Bengals, but the only game I can't see us losing is maybe the Bengals because I mean,
Yeah.
but other than
This
that,
past week was supposed to be one of those games the
I see
Ravens
us
were
winning.
supposed to win.
Yeah, of course, and you can't really place the blame all on Lamar
Saying I
Jackson.
predicted the upset.
But like you can't really place the blame all. Yes, he is a quarterback and like he does make the throws, but you can't just blame their loss on Lamar Jackson. I mean, he all on Lamar Jackson. You know, Mark Andrews missed a touchdown pass. Demarcus Robinson missed a touchdown pass. Gus Edwards fumbled the ball. I mean, Lamar, yes, he did have a fumble too. I get that one fumble. The defense, the coverage was just how the hell on a 4th and 8 you let if they don't get that first down, the game's over.
Mhm.
So you can't really put the blame all on Lamar Jackson. Yeah, he did make a couple of crucial throws. He did make that show to Deshaun Jackson. That was a nice throw. But you're right. I mean, the fan who kind of called out Lamar Jackson on Twitter, he had a point in his post saying that that game should not fall to Justin Tucker's foot. That game we should have been up by like at least 10, 20 points on Jacksonville.
That's why I keep saying the Ravens offense, the margin of error for the Ravens offense is like razor thin because they don't put up a lot of points. So then that just puts more pressure on that
against
defense.
Miami, and then Miami came back. We had like 30-something points on them, like 20-something points.
Yeah.
Since then, how's the
but
offense
I guess the point that Dan Lost was saying too that like the only losses that we had was like you said we lost. I mean we were up all those games. I mean there were some plays where like there's some plays in the Bills game, Miami game where it could have came down to like us winning those games. And it's not like we've been blown out the waters. Like we've led those games. Obviously, yes, and that comes with the defense. Defense can't allow those teams to catch up to us. I mean, yes, the offense is their job is to put up points. Our defense is supposed to stop the points. So technically, in a real world, if all games, we should be like 9-0. If you think about it,
Every team could say that.
I mean, from my perspective on the game is like you can't let Zay Jones, get 100+ receiving yards on your game. You can't let
Travis the defense, not the offense.
Fair. With that being said, though, like if you're supposed to have this great defense, like they need to pick up if your offense is not doing it. You can't have
that's what I'm saying. Like you can't like base all the blame on Lamar Jackson that game. It's not really
I made that argument with that Dolphins game. Even though the Dolphins made that run on the defense, you can't blame the defense for that because the offense did nothing in that stretch. They both work hand in hand, and I think the like overall point with the Ravens is like because the Ravens are a team that you could also make the argument they would probably benefit from a top 2 seed because the more games they could probably get at home, the better for them.
And the more games they can just get healthy.
Right. Because if you're looking at
time off.
Baltimore, and Baltimore had to go on the road to Buffalo, would you feel good about it? No. If they had to go on the road to Miami, would you feel good about it?
We already saw that.
Right. But one thing would be Miami's would be kind of inexperienced in the playoffs, at least at the quarterback position, but you still wouldn't feel good about that.
Right.
If they had to go on the road to Arrowhead and play Kansas City, would you feel good about that? No. If they had to go on the road to Cincinnati, let's say Cincinnati ends up winning the division, the Ravens have to go on the road. Would you feel good about it? And this is what Jamar Chase coming back, Mixon, yeah.
But I feel like with the schedule and stuff, I feel like the Bengals have a tougher road to get to the playoffs because they got the Chiefs, they got the Bills, they got
like I just said, this past week was one of the games the Ravens were supposed to win.
Yeah.
So now they lost that. They brought the Bengals back into the equation.
Yeah. I mean, we're tied, I think, in the division, but I mean, we are an 8-point favorite against the Jaguars. I'm not sure what our line was coming into the Jaguars game. I think a 3. I'm not sure. I got
3.5, I think.
3.5. So it wasn't that high. So,
and I could tell you why the line wouldn't be that high. I don't think odds makers are that confident in the offense. They're looking at the Ravens.
I'm saying anything.
The
come
Ravens will
playoff
win
time,
games like 2016, 23-17. They're going to keep it close.
I mean,
Because one, they run the ball a lot. You're not going to get a lot of possessions. So
I guess my point is when it comes to the playoffs, teams are 0-0 in the playoffs, man. Anything can happen. It's a different animal. Defense is going to step up if we make the playoffs. So I'm trying hard not to keep my bias in here, but I feel like our defense is going to be with Dobbins possibly coming back. I think he just removed some of the ligament something from his knee, so it's not. He didn't have an injury. He said sit him.
Yeah, sit him.
No,
Dylan, your video went out. Let me see.
Oh, I wouldn't say.
Am I good?
No, it's still
it's still a black screen.
All right, I'll refresh.
Okay,
but no, I wouldn't say sit Dobbins. Like, why would you sit Dobbins? I mean, it's not like he got hurt. Everyone thought he got hurt, but he got surgery to remove some of that tissue, that soft tissue around his knee that was still left around that injury.
That still doesn't sound. That still doesn't sound good. Only because.
But it's not like he said he didn't hurt his knee. He just said it's not like he was limped off the field or whatever. And so.
Yeah, you're good, Dylan.
So.
Yeah, like I said, sit him. You're having a player who's coming off of a major injury last year.
No,
and then
but
it's
I was
13 weeks in the season.
I was just telling Kyle that it was not like he was hurt. I mean, he said he wasn't hurt. He was just removing the soft tissue from
When's
the
the
knee.
last time he played? It's been a minute. It's been like 6-7 weeks. Yeah, that's been a minute. I'm sorry. If he was removing some stuff from his knee, that should have been probably taken care of by now.
But if it was like, I mean, if I was Harbaugh, I would not. I mean, I would kind of use him in certain plays. Not like
okay. With that being said, was he really super productive when he was there as well too?
Well, when he was playing,
when he was playing, was he really productive?
Yeah, the couple games he played, yeah.
Because my perspective on it is, if you're gonna get kind of the same out of him, he's still young, he's just on his second year. I imagine they really want to play him, but
right.
Why risk getting him injured?
Plus, we're
again?
getting Ojabo. We're getting Ojabo. I want to see Ojabo play on the outside. I want to see how he plays.
I like David Ojabo.
I think Ronnie Stanley. I know he's hurt, but he's he needs. I don't know. Ronnie Stanley, he's always getting hurt. That's another might maybe called. They need to fix in the draft just for a replacement for him. But when he's healthy, he's doing his job. I mean, so who knows, man? Any team in the playoffs is 0-0 in the playoffs. Anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's what any team in the playoffs. So
yeah, you just still feel better about the Ravens. I kind of put with the Tennessee camp because with Tennessee, they're a team built around the run. And in the playoffs,
they got Henry.
Yeah, the Ravens and the Titans give me the same vibes. When I see at least when it comes to playoff times, when I see here the Ravens and Titans are playing someone, no offense, Jordan, I don't want to pick them. I don't those are teams that just scare me when it comes playoff time because it's there's a different intensity, and I look at those two rosters.
You don't want to pick the Ravens, or you don't want to pick them?
And the Titans. The Ravens and Titans go hand to hand when I say this. When it comes to the playoff time, last year, the Titans were a perfect example. When I saw that they were going up against the Bengals, I was like, it's a wrap. The Titans are done. They're going to get exited first round. I do not want to pick them. And I was right. They did. And the Ravens are one of those teams. Anytime I see they go up the playoffs, it's I might pick them for a wild card, but anything after that, I feel scared to pick them because it's just they crack. They crack under the pressure because their holes become glaring in the playoffs.
Yeah, because the Ravens aren't built to get down 2 scores, come back in the game against certain teams. I think I said this a couple weeks ago. With the Ravens, it'll be all about matchups in the playoffs. If they had a first round matchup against the Titans, you could feel somewhat good about that.
Yeah, we beat them in the playoffs last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, each year is different. But I'm just saying, looking at both teams right now, if you put the Ravens up against the Titans, I'd be I would say the Ravens have the advantage because Lamar better than Tannehill.
Yeah, and we got Roquan Smith. That's different.
There's only so much he could. Okay, so the Roquan Smith,
we got Bowser back.
That element is is a bigger deal if the Ravens offense, if you're going to tell me the Ravens are going to put up 24 points a game, I'll say they should be fine.
Right.
But in the playoffs, there's going to be a game where they might only put up 16. And then you're
I'm
putting
not
more
sure that's
pressure
good
on.
enough.
Yeah, you're putting a lot of pressure on Roquan Smith and those guys to then keep a Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes under 16. That's what I'm saying. That's where the margin of error for the Ravens is like paper thin.
Well, that year that we won the Super Bowl, like I mean, yeah, we had Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, but
that was so long ago. The
NFL
NFL has completely changed since then.
Yeah.
That's why it's a little different.
Your whole identity's Lamar Jackson wasn't even in college.
Well, no, I'm saying that like, most people thought, Colin Kaepernick, they're gonna win the Super Bowl. Like people will always doubt us, man, in the playoffs, man.
That was so long ago.
But with that being said, would you want to compare your guys' defense to what it was that Super Bowl year? Because
Ray Lewis
it's not the same.
No, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Anquan Bolden, that team was just,
don't get me wrong. I do like Roquan Smith a lot, and I do like your guys' defense a lot. I like what you guys have built there. I like David Ojabo. I like Kyle Hamilton, like the young guys you got. But with that being said, that's still nothing on par with them, at least yet. You never know when you're going to hit and draft.
But are y'all putting the Ravens in the playoffs this year?
With record-wise and who they have left on their schedule, yes. But do I have them making it far in the playoffs? Not particularly, no. If the season ended today, based off of who's in the playoffs if I had to look at...
I think, because we'd be the 4th seed.
Yeah, if I had
to
look...
play Buffalo in the first round.
Hey, Josh... Shit.
Yeah, you would play Buffalo, but it'd be a home game for you guys.
So you could be like, okay, you could feel a little bit. You could feel some.
And Bills don't have their top. Who was their freaking cornerback that's out the whole year?
Tre'Davious
White.
Oh, it was him with employer. What's his name?
Micah Hyde.
Micah Hyde. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If the season ended today, like you guys would be going to the Bills, and if you would win that matchup, you'd probably have a matchup against two after that, like
Kansas City.
Kansas City or Miami.
You get Kansas City.
Oh yeah, because it'd be 3-6. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
And you'd be going to Arrowhead to face Kansas City.
Yeah. See, I couldn't do it after that.
The worry would be if it came down to a shootout in a playoffs. Do you trust Baltimore? Because I don't even think John Harbaugh wants that. In Harbaugh's perfect world, it'd be ground and pound, Lamar Jackson, those guys, limit possessions for the other team, win a game 26-20, move on, good. But if it turns into a game where, like, Mahomes is putting up 35, you okay saying that the Ravens could put up 38 and win that game? I don't know.
If I was a Ravens fan, though, I would want to cheer for the Dolphins. If I were the Ravens, I would rather play the Dolphins again than have to go play the Bills.
I'd rather do that. Yeah.
Imagine if they get lucky, though. Like a perfect world for the the Ravens is like having to play like the Dolphins round 1 and then getting lucky enough to go on to play like the Titans round 2.
Right.
Right.
Then at that point, you're in the AFC Championship.
Because everyone wants to see that either Lamar and Mahomes in the AFC Championship. I mean, that's gonna be one hell of a game.
No, they want to see Mahomes and Allen again. That's what
I want to see. I want to see Mike White versus Ryan Tannehill for mine.
Yeah, you know how the NFL is. They saw Allen Mahomes last year. They would want to see that again this year. That's what they want.
Yeah, definitely with a new overtime rule too.
Yeah.
Because like now in this case, it's like we're going to keep playing until one of you guys lose.
Yeah, that's what they want. Lamar.
I mean, we'll see, man.
I mean, Lamar is probably a deep playoff run away from jumping into that group with those two. Because right now, people look at the AFC, it's Mahomes, Allen, then you drop down and you're into Joe Burrow.
Bro, you putting Joe Burrow up tomorrow?
Well, I was saying that's the group.
A lot of people
they put Mahomes, Allen as their own tier, and then below that you go Burrow, Herbert, Lamar. Below that, you'd probably go Tua and whatever.
Yeah, Tua, like Trevor Lawrence, Derek.
I mean, I definitely say I definitely put like Mahomes and Allen in like that top tier, like
Yeah.
that top tier one, and then I put Lamar, I put Herbert, I put Burrow in that tier two, then
Yeah.
like two.
I'd put Burrow over Herbert.
Yeah, and then I put Matt Jones in 3, maybe.
Yeah, third tier would be Mac Jones, Tua,
Should we still
Trevor
got Watson?
Lawrence,
He
Carr.
has plays his first game next week or this week.
Who?
Watson, he's coming back, but he's not even in the conversation.
Yeah, we don't know what Watson looks like. Now, I do think that Browns game, if Watson looks like the guy from the Texans, that Browns game becomes tougher for the Ravens.
Man,
Because when Watson's going, like Watson can put up points.
we're also not going to
Yeah.
talk about how the Jacoby Brissett beat the Bucks in overtime in his final game as a
That's
Brown.
crazy. That was crazy.
Potentially.
I
Browns,
always
they're-
said all Jacoby had to
Patriots are-
do was
not
keep
Patriots.
them
they're beating
someone
up.
in the conversation. They ended up 4-7 with Brissett. If you look at it, they could have easily been 6-5 at
like
this
they-
point.
yeah, they kept it
gave
close.
away a couple of games.
Man,
Yeah.
imagine the Browns went out. Jacoby Brissett just did enough for the Browns, like Deshaun Watson, to win out.
Yeah, if they were 6-5 now with Watson coming back, people would look at the Browns as
And be like, oh, man.
A
Because
scary
Amari
team.
Cooper's playing nice. Like,
Yeah.
Amari Cooper's playing well. Nick Chubb's playing well. Like, ooh.
I was getting to the picks because
Yeah.
kind of
We're
long.
hitting time.
Try to get through these because we still have college football playoff ranking to talk about. Because
I'm trying to eat dinner, y'all.
I don't know.
yeah,
We're just gonna go through the picks really quickly. We don't really have to say much about them. Just give your pick, and
Yeah.
we'll just move on. So Thursday night, Bills Patriots. Bills 8-3. Patriots are 6-5. Bills are a 4-point favorite. Who you guys got?
Is it Bills Patriots?
I got.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting too sketchy.
I'm sorry. I got Bills, man.
Yeah, I'm taking Buffalo. It's a primetime game.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo seems to like playing well in some of those primetime slots. Nothing against New England.
It is a
they've
division
been
game,
playing well.
so them division
They've been
games,
playing well. They played good against Minnesota. They had a really
Mhm.
good game against Minnesota, but I have my opinions about Minnesota. Yeah, I'm going Buffalo.
I gotta show faith. I'm gonna go with the Patriots just because.
Hey, never. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
I think the Patriots defense could pose some problems, and that might give them a shot. But I'll go Patriots. Just
You have great edge rushers. Like if you can contain Josh Allen, it's pretty
Yeah.
good. Your corner's gonna have a bit. Corner's gonna have some work cut out for him.
I know that's what I'm worried about, but we'll see. Okay, Sunday night, Colts Cowboys. Yikes. Colts 4.
I'm sorry, Cowboys.
8-3. Yeah, we have all
I'm going
we're all
Cowboys.
going Cowboys in this one.
Yeah, Jeff Saturday. Like I know we didn't really touch about that game on Monday night, but Jeff Saturday had some horrible time management. He even came out and admitted it himself that he wasn't really thinking. And yeah, Cowboys really need a win. The Colts are kind of just fighting for who they're going to draft at quarterback.
Right. I'm for the Saturday. That's understandable. I mean, he doesn't have any coaching experience, stuff like that. Hopefully, he can learn
Man,
from that.
but I play Madden a lot, and I got better time management than that. Like I know when to
Oh,
call a
man.
proper timeout.
Yeah. Well, there's been other coaches who've had issues with time. I mean, Hackett's had
I
his
don't
issues.
get how. I don't get how. Like you got to look at your field position, and it's just like, I don't know, man.
know. I don't know.
I feel like it's basic. Like if you have enough time to go for it, go for it. Like
Mhm.
you have 2 timeouts, final
Yeah.
possession. You got time to work.
Exactly. But some coaches, I don't know
Mhm.
what they got going on in their head. Monday night, Saints Bucks. 4-8 Saints, 5-6 Bucks.
I don't know.
I guess I'm going the Bucks. I mean,
Can I say like a tie, a draw, and that's like
I guess.
Yeah. Only because it's
But,
in Tampa Bay, I'll go Bucks.
yeah, I'll go
I'm
Bucks.
going
And they're
Bucks.
3.5-point favorites. So
Yeah.
Okay. So Jordan, who's your lock and upset this week?
let me see. Look down the list real quick for
Ooh, Miami versus San Francisco. Ooh, that's my game of the week if I had to pick one.
okay.
That or Chiefs Bengals is pretty good.
I was thinking
Jeff
about
Wilson and Raheem Mostert
so my
revenge
lock.
game.
So my lock is going to be. I want to put my Ravens because they're playing the Broncos. I don't think I picked them last week for my favorite. I think I picked Bills Lions last week for my upset.
Oh, I got my upset. I gotta get upset.
So it looks like David Burns watching. I'm assuming that's supposed to be from Cedar Hill, Texas. Just finished playing Madden 23 on Xbox One.
Nice, man.
Appreciate you tuning in.
But see, for my lock, I had the Ravens, and then for my upset,
I bet you still have better time management than Jeff Saturday did, though.
So you said what? Your lock is.
So my lock is the Ravens against the Broncos, and then because Russell Wilson is just like they had problems over there. His linebackers are yelling at it, getting in his face, like so.
I saw something that said Seattle's projected to pick second overall with the Broncos pick right now.
And then my upset is going to be. To be honest, I might go with the Lions. The Lions against the Jaguars.
Yo, David's coming in talking some trash, man.
I whoop that ass with my Ravens, man.
All
I gotta do is run some RPOs on your ass, and I got you, man. So
QB spy at you.
Yeah, man, 23, man. I got you.
Yeah, we got you.
David Burns, see a new follower? I've never seen him before.
That's the first time I think he's commented.
Yeah, I think it's the first time he's commented.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, you don't want to see me in Madden, man.
All right.
But yeah, so my upset is gonna be Lions versus
Jaguars. Okay. Dylan, who you
got? My lock of the week, I'm gonna go Washington over New York. Washington plays New York at New York, but Washington's 2-point favorites. Yeah, I mean, it's a division game, so it might be a lot closer. It might be a lot closer than people are expecting, probably. But I've said everything I've said about the Giants. I've been fairly open about them losing out. They might win a game here or there. Washington's kind of rolling right now. It's kind of hard to pick against them. I need them to lose as a Seattle fan, but if New York keeps losing, that also helps Seattle out. So, if Washington makes it and Seattle doesn't, that's about fine. And then my upset of the week, I'm going the Jets for the Vikings, the White Jets over the again of the Vikings along with who else? The Giants are two teams I've been 100% sold on in the NFC. Mike White, I mean, he killed it for the Jets last season, and he came back after Zach Wilson got benched, and he played a really, really good game in a game that the Jets won and needed to win. The offense looked like they flowed a lot better. Yeah, I'm going.
Could be the Taylor Heineke effect.
Yeah, it could definitely do the exact same thing. I mentioned it on Sunday that I felt confident that Mike White was like one of those players that like the Jets could kind of like rally around. Zach Wilson seemed like immature. He didn't seem like, he was really 100% ready for the job. And then I know Mike White had to play against the Bears, and that's not really a great team to show how great you are where you're standing because they're not really great themselves. But even then, they're running like their backup running backs and doing just fine. So, yeah, I think the Jets can get it done, shock some people, make a late playoff push.
Okay, all right. All right, so where am I going to go with this? All right, let's see. So my lock, I'll go with... There's a couple of games that are speaking to me. I can see going the other way. I kind of want to go Browns over the Texans. I mean, how lucky for Deshaun Watson his first game is against his old team.
Oh, I wouldn't even say it's lucky, man. I feel like that's probably the number one place he doesn't want to be on his first game back. I don't know. I don't feel like, regardless of how people feel about the situation with him, I just feel like where you got all the hate and where everything went down, that's not where you want to go. Like, you're gonna get.
Is it the game with Houston, right? Or is
it?
Oh man, I heard they're bringing those 10 accused.
Yeah.
Oh,
and that's exactly why. Again,
I think it could be something the team rallies behind him because of that, and might have a really good showing.
It's possible, but man,
'Cause I'm sure his
that's the
teammates are
last
looking
place
at
you
that
want to play.
like really.
I bet if you were Watson, like one, you'd rather play anywhere else, or you'd rather have the game at home. Like the literal worst possible game for him to come back to was in Houston.
Whose decision was it that to with those accusers? Like who
It was
was it? The
their
A
Texas
attorney.
lawyer.
Yeah,
the
it was the
lawyer?
Yeah.
Oh, the lawyer. Oh,
I don't, man. Who knows?
stupid.
Whatever the
man.
case, but yeah, I just
To say bring a
Come on,
grand
NFL.
jury to a game, like who, like this is, yeah.
Yeah, the Commanders are currently in the playoffs right now.
Oh yeah, man. But yeah,
they're
David Burns.
taking the
Man.
last spot.
I see you,
So-
but thanks for
so David
your
Burns, you're a
Cedar
Commanders
Hill,
fan? I'm assuming they're a Commanders fan. Let's see.
What's your upset for the week?
Upset. I'm looking at Falcons Steelers, but I can't be confident
Half
in
a
that.
point. It's half.
I
A
know
point. That's
it's
so
not,
weird.
It's not that big of a deal.
Like if the Falcons win, are you really surprised? Not really.
No.
Depends on if Kenny Pickett throws any interceptions. I saw a stat line that says like Kenny Pickett has thrown like practically almost like all of his interceptions in like the first half. Actually,
Oh.
ooh.
So a Bears fan. Okay.
There's-
I feel for you. I hope they do Justin Fields right and get pieces around him.
Oh, is the receiver out? Mooney?
Oh yeah, he's out
Yeah.
probably for the season.
Upset.
He needs to. Whoa. He said just he needs to go.
See, David, I was with you, and then you put that up there.
Like, come on, brother.
Man,
Come
Fields
on,
is
man.
good. They figured out how to use him in a proper QB rushing offense, like give him the ball and
Come on, man.
You've got to be trolling with this one.
Oh, come on. We got a Marcus on our hands, bro.
man, they just lost 31-10.
All right, David Burns.
David-
I'll remember you, David Burns. I want you commenting every week now. Stats to win games.
How many career rushing yards does Trevor Siemian have? I bet Justin Fields has more than that in 2 games.
I feel like with all the issues with the Bears, Justin Fields is so far down the list that you. I mean, hey, that's coming from a Bears
Yeah.
fan. I mean, I can't be mad at it, but I
I get the concept if you just want to completely restart, get picks from him, and just reset part 2 instead of waiting for a Justin Fields extension. Maybe.
I could listen to the argument. I guess I won't fully crucify
Maybe
you,
we need to
David,
have
but-
David Burns.
It just
on
wouldn't
the
make
show,
sense.
man.
It wouldn't make sense to trade for Chase Claypool then, because it's like you traded for Chase Claypool for Trevor Siemian to throw to him. It's like
that doesn't make
you
any
might
sense.
as well just step with Byron Pringle.
That we got to blow out on the Jets.
Okay. I'll mark it down if it happens. I'll give you credit for that one. All right, upset. I got to think of one. All right. Once again, with my upsets, I usually go pretty bold with them. I'm going to go
It has to happen.
Bengals over the Chiefs.
I don't hate that. Last year in the playoffs, I said the Bengals were going to beat the Chiefs after they beat them in the regular season. So yeah, we beat them last year in the regular season. You know, Jamar Chase will be back.
Yeah, that's me assuming Chase, Mixon are back. Good to
Yeah,
go.
I mean, I imagine they should be. It's like the biggest game for them, definitely playoff implication wise. Because if you win this game, that's a good strength of victory on your record if you get into any tiebreaker scenarios, beating the potential 2, maybe number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Plus,
If
if they want a
Ravens
chance to
fans,
get
it's
back
the
in there,
game, the
Yeah.
Bengals that they're hoping the Chiefs beat the Bengals this week, so the Bengals can turn around and win that one.
yeah, it's really a must-win at this case. You know,
Yeah, if they want the division, they got to win against Kansas City. All right,
yeah,
so
the
those are
Ravens do got it lucky.
yes, those are the picks. I guess, like I said, college football, real quick. So, Jordan, what do you feel about Bama at 6?
Rightfully so.
I mean, what they were at 7, right? Last week.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Jordan. Ravens are the real deal.
There
David
you go. David. See, now I like David, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
very still out for me. No,
but
What's your opinion about the Seahawks? What's your opinion
but
about the Seahawks, David? And the Patriots. We got to find out for Kyle as well too.
okay,
Gotta
before
see.
I say my answer, I want to hear David's answer on these before I say about the college football.
Okay, so my opinion on the college football playoffs, then, real quick, is it's smart. You know, USC finally got the love they deserve. I was a little bit worried, not a big bit worried because Ohio State won by a decent amount, but I was a little bit worried. You know, Ohio State might have just dropped to 4 and kind of kicked USC on the outskirts because they like doing things like that sometimes. But I'm glad USC got it. Caleb Williams is getting a lot of attention for Heisman now, so it just makes even more sense to put him in there. You want your Heisman front runner to also be in the college football playoffs. It's a good talking point. So it makes sense. Alabama and Tennessee at 6 and 7 is yeah, I mean it's really getting down to like these final 5 teams, you know. We're getting down to also conference championship week, you know.
Yep.
You got Michigan and Purdue facing each other for the Big Ten. You're gonna have TCU and Kansas State facing each other for the Big 12.
You got Georgia, LSU.
Yeah, Clemson, North Carolina.
USC, Utah.
Ooh.
That's tough.
Ooh. I'm a big Utah advocator, so that's tough.
All I'll say for the rankings is the committee's lucky because that's the same 6 I had, the same order. I guess I won't rant on them because they got it right. That's all I'll say. But yeah, I do agree with you, Dylan, that I was glad to see they put USC at 4. I think USC deserves it. You know, the committee could have done the committee thing, put Ohio State 4, and then come out and say, well, if USC wins the Pac-12 championship, then we'll put them in. Well, it's like...
Yeah. It's like, what's the point of not putting them in then now? If you're going to be like, well, if they win, it's like, we'll put them in now just in case. Just so we know that you'll do that.
Yeah. I mean, outside of that, Penn State at 8.
It's
I feel like the way Penn State started their season, for them to be number 8.
So what? They're going to the... No, they won't go to the Rose Bowl, will they? Nah.
Oh.
It'll either be them. It'll probably be Ohio State.
Yeah, because Ohio State probably travels better.
Well, Ohio State, Washington Rose Bowl? Because it's always, what, Big Ten, Pac-12?
That's not bad.
Ohio State, Oregon Rose Bowl? They'd probably go to Washington, but I don't mind that. I liked Ohio State, Utah last year. It was a good game.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes me interested in what the bowl tie-ins are now.
Yeah, well, once we get to bowl season, we can look at that. All right, looks like David didn't answer about his thoughts on the Seahawks.
He said, man, they suck. He's like, I got to leave. He said, Patriots and Seahawks, I'm out.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Seahawks' biggest need is a defensive lineman.
I completely agree. Tyrese Wilson is a dude I like for Seattle. So Seattle build. Seattle likes them long, lengthy defensive ends. So like Tyrese Wilson at Texas Tech. But if we have that number 2 overall pick, man, I don't even know what
Dylan,
to do.
how do you think about Josh Jacobs was running all over your team, but how do you feel about that lineman running on to the field?
Oh, Darnell Taylor. What the hell is he doing? Like I get we have like a 12th man, but like he's taking it a little too far.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, man. I played football for a little bit, and I get like getting excited and stuff like that, but like I don't know. I've seen interceptions happen and stuff like that, and I've never was like, "Let me go out there."
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy.
All right, David. What do you think about the Patriots? That's our last request from you.
This can
Well, yeah, my thoughts in between his text or his typing, but about so does Alabama have any more like bowl games, or that's the only game because they can't go any higher than this week?
Their regular season's over. They're not in the SEC championship.
No,
that's just unfortunate, but all right.
So what's the SEC bowl? That's I'm trying to think.
I think it's. Well, depending on which bowls are in the playoff, I know the SEC, they usually get the Sugar Bowl, the
Yeah, they'll get the Sugar Bowl versus the Big 12. So I imagine
Okay.
that's probably going to be like what, Alabama, Kansas State? No, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It'll be an at-large in that it's probably going to be Kansas State. So
Yeah. And Alabama fans will be like, "Oh, this is beneath us."
hey, it's a nice one on the schedule, I guess. If you're not going to make the playoffs, might as well just beat the crap out of a team. But I imagine in that case, Bryce Young's not going to play. I don't think Bryce Young will play. If he has to play Kansas State, that ain't happening.
So I guess for you, Jordan, for Alabama to have any shot at this, I've thought of a scenario. I don't even know if they get in if all this happens, but you would need
Michigan to lose.
Kansas State to blow out TCU in the Big 12 championship game.
And Michigan to probably lose to Purdue to just make it a little
Yeah,
nicer.
Purdue just has to be Michigan. It doesn't even need to be a blowout because
Which is possible. Purdue's been an upset team this year.
Yeah. But a Purdue loss from Michigan will drop them because they'll be like, that's a terrible loss. You would need Utah to beat USC. So you probably need at least 2 out of those 3 to happen. And at that point, they may slide in Ohio State and Alabama over TCU and USC.
I'd be pissed. I would be livid.
And if that happens,
Oh, Michigan. No.
Well, okay.
Michigan makes the
Michigan.
playoff regardless.
Oh.
A loss to Purdue, I don't know.
I think a close loss to Purdue, yes, but if they get blown out,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
I don't
Georgia's a
know.
lock. Yeah.
Georgia's a definitely. Yeah, they're a
Even
lot.
if they lose to LSU's.
Yeah. I mean, LSU's still 14. That's kind of low, but with the season Georgia's had, they're not going to drop them 4 spots out of the playoff, losing to LSU. Not happening. All right. I guess David got nothing to say about my Patriots. Whatever. Better than your Bears.
Maybe he's typing a
Did they
paragraph.
beat
for
you
you.
I know
this
you might be typing like a paragraph to just rat.
Oh, my thoughts on the Pacers is Mac Jones
Mac
has to
Jones
understand time
and-
clock management to throw the ball away. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I know. The last game that the Patriots played, he did fairly. The one reason that the Patriots were doing good is
You don't
because he
gotta
had
say anything
some
about
good
that,
snapping.
Carl. You just like,
Well, Mac Jones is young.
You know. I mean, for all the things that David could have said about the Patriots, that's not that bad. Oh, it's Gene. Okay, what's up, Gene?
Oh, Gene's trying to be.
Yeah, because just came up as Sports Empire Network. I didn't know who it was, but Gene. Okay. So Gene
Yep.
thinks Michigan makes the playoff regardless, just like
I
Georgia.
do.
Okay. Yeah, we were just talking. Well, I mean, sure you heard it. Trying to give Jordan some hope about Alabama making it, but fully expect Georgia to beat LSU, Michigan to beat Purdue, TCU. I feel like they should beat Kansas State.
USC Utah.
That is going to be a tough game.
What happens? Okay, just real quick. If USC loses, do you give it to Ohio State?
That's going to be.
How many losses? Man, because Utah has 3 losses. Even if they beat USC, like, you can't give it to them. If they had 2 losses, I would be like, sorry, Jordan. I would slide in 2-loss Utah with a Pac-12 championship over Alabama.
I knew there was more to David's statement. All right, David.
Man, I mean, he can't even spell his last name right. So I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, he fixed it.
Hones.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm joking with you, man. I'm joking with you, David. I'm joking with you, brother.
I appreciate it, David. You
Yeah.
gotta make it now. David has to be a regular in the comments now.
Yeah, for sure. I like the feedback,
Tuesday.
man.
Every Tuesday, David. Every Tuesday.
Yeah, every Tuesday, 7 o'clock,
yeah.
you will be here.
Really,
Ohio
Gene?
State over
Ohio
them.
State got
I think you
loss.
have to
Ohio
put
State
Ohio
got
State in.
mollywopped over freaking Michigan, man. You can put
Yeah,
Okay,
but
you have
Michigan's-
2 losses.
Michigan's
You have
number
2
2 in the
losses.
country.
All right.
You know, you beat Texas by 1 point, and you know where Texas is at? Ranked 20.
Yeah, well, Georgia and Michigan are in regardless. Yeah, I would agree with that because
Yeah.
I mean they're undefeated. So I mean,
If you're gonna tell me Ohio State's only loss is to number 2 in the country,
hello,
Michigan,
my beg, fellas.
yeah, Bama has 2 losses, and I think that would keep Bama out. They
Your
put
only
Ohio
loss.
State
Your
in.
only loss is to if it's a little bit different if Michigan loses to Purdue, because you kind of have to look at that and be like, well, would Ohio State lose to Purdue in this case? But if Michigan wins, then it's different. You know, if Michigan loses and then USC loses, then you could kind of make a little bit of a case, you know. But if that doesn't happen,
Well, I think you would hope TCU, USC lose. Then that way the argument would just be probably Ohio State and Bama going in. Or
I even think Clemson with an ACC championship win doesn't. You don't go.
Yeah, I think they're too far back to move them up that.
They've been totally unimpressive this season to even give them a nod. You know, if like they played really good and they just had two close losses,
Gene,
like
right.
you can make a case.
Yeah, Michigan, Georgia.
Yeah, we agree on Georgia and Michigan. We're just saying for Alabama to get in, they're going to need TCU, USC to lose.
They're going to need some chaos, just like.
Yeah. All right.
But I mean, I guess my final thoughts is, you know, just. I'm ready to get. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'm ready to get off this air real quick because I'm getting tired, man. But
You're good.
so my final thoughts is yo, Gene. Yeah.
So they put.
Okay.
Oh wow, you say Penn State over Bama.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to push you. I'm gonna have to cut your ass on in the group chat, man. But anyways, my final
I'm not
thoughts
sure about
is
Penn State over Bama.
F Gene. No, it's like yo. Now my final thoughts is, you know, just, you know, keep supporting the show, keep supporting the network. You know, big things are happening. I love chopping up with y'all, you know, talking sports. And yeah, I mean, we're you know, towards getting towards the end of the NFL season. You know, college football is winding down, college basketball is ramping up.
Houston ranked number 1.
I like Houston.
Houston, yeah, they're nice. So yeah, I mean, this, you know, we'll see where Aaron Judge lands. You know, it's gonna be exciting for that. Marcus heating up. So yeah, I mean, I feel like we have to do that the M1 podcast again because, you know, Freddie connection wasn't working. I know Chris Robinson's never wasn't working. So we gotta get all the fellas on that show.
Yeah.
Maybe this Friday or next Friday or whatever, but. Yeah, just keep on supporting the show, the network, and yeah, I mean, just keep showing us love, man, and yeah, that's it for me, man.
All right, Dylan, you got anything?
Basically the same. Don't forget to check out SeatGeek. Use code SEN, you know, for checkout. Don't forget that as well. Other than that, yeah, you know, bowl season's coming down. We're getting to the thick of college basketball and everything like that. You know, everything's kind of in its mid-season form. We're just waiting for big stuff to happen. So just that waiting. Decent UFC event this weekend. I'm pretty excited to watch it at least. You got like Tai Tuivasa fighting Kevin Holland. So some good names on the card. Excited for UFC to come back. It's been like 2 weeks since we've had something. So that's also nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely we'll be back here every Tuesday, you know, just waiting for more news to happen. It kind of sucks when it's just kind of just games are happening. So
yeah. Yep.
So I will say, David, hopefully, you know, every Tuesday you come back and, you know, great shows, fellas. Loved it. Appreciate that, David. And make sure,
definitely.
Make sure you hit the.
I did take a picture of your gamer tags. I will be playing you Madden, and if you want to play Warzone with us, if you're a Call of Duty player,
we need a fourth.
So.
Yeah, definitely do.
Or FIFA, we need some people on the FIFA team. So
yeah. So we're willing to do that with you guys, you know, in the chat. But I will say before we get out of here, USA's moving on.
Oh yeah.
You know,
big win.
They came into this. They were expected to finish third in the group. Beat Iran.
We had him second. Kyle.
Yes, I had. Yeah, Dylan and I had.
Yeah, we couldn't. Yeah, we couldn't. We couldn't. PS4 Madden. Huh? I thought you had the Xbox, man.
That's Gene.
Yeah, that's Gene.
Oh.
Yeah, Jordan and Dylan are Xbox guys. I'm a PS guy, so.
Yeah. Oh, so Gene probably has PS4 then.
Yeah, he has PS4 Madden.
Damn.
Gene, you'd probably kill me in Madden, but I'll play you.
Yeah, Gene. Oh, Gene's like the ins and outs football guy. He knows, man. He knows how to play it, bro.
Yeah. I have to get back into Madden. That's probably gonna make me get back into Madden now. I'll do that. But yeah. So USA won. They have a game Saturday against Netherlands.
Oh, so that's official. That's what they're playing.
Knockout stage.
Netherlands is gonna be tough. They have Gakpo up front, who's Gene's a monster at Madden. I could have guessed that. But few leagues. Okay. All right.
He probably plays with the Philadelphia Eagles. Runs
Probably
with Jalen
does.
Hurts.
I would expect him to. But
Be
yeah,
fun to
Netherlands
watch.
is going to be a tough game. Gakpo, great scorer.
Yep.
Memphis Depay, same thing. Van Dijk's a great center back.
Oh,
So
they got Van Dyke, man. Oh my
yeah,
God.
Van Dijk is probably the best center back in football, soccer for you
Soccer
guys.
we tied England.
I don't know, but
Wait. I just saw that. I just saw that comment. I was like, wait. I could pick any team against Kyle. I would pick the.
I'm gonna need like a couple of weeks to really get back into Madden before I play Gene. I haven't played Madden in a little bit.
What X factors?
Usually either Colts or Broncos. Man.
Oh no, they got JT. You don't want to use the Broncos. You don't want to use the Colts. I
gotta find who my team.
Here.
is.
You know, Gene. Don't listen to me. I'll do my research and I'll tell you what team to use.
Let's say the Jags.
I mean, I do the show Thursday with Gene. I'll figure it out. But yeah. So hopefully the U.S. can make a run in the knockout stage. But definitely like what they got going on. I like the youth. And
so I guess it's a wait and see. I guess if we beat the Netherlands, who will we play next?
Nobody that we know of yet.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
No.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that next week. But
when we have more time.
Yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. Love the chat. This episode definitely was live. But
Calling me, but all right.
But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you hit subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Like button.
What it do?
And we will see you guys next Tuesday on the Big Three Podcast.
No, it's all good. I'm on. Yep, I guess we were out on the show.
Yeah, I'll talk to you guys in the group chat.
All right.
All right.